On the block, we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, go, 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 Spaces open, might go live. Different miles from web to drive. Builders here, they pull up real. Talking moves and how they feel. No scripts, just open flow. Ideas moving row by row. Every week a new face shown. Building things to stand alone. On the block, we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, go, 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 go. On the block, feel the sound. On the block, right now. Spaces open, let it start. Different builders play their part. No filter, just raw talk. Ideas that actually walk. From early grinding new way. Every guest got things to say. No script, no safety net. Just truth, you don't forget. On the block, we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, 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 flow. On the block, feel the sound. On the block, right now. Down, 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 down.
GMGAGE, happy Monday. Welcome to On the Block, episode 46, Beast Mode. I'm Taddy in the City of Angels, and once again, I'm honored to be your host for today's show. Thank you all for rocking up, and please, ladies and gents, if you would be so kind to like and repost this live stream, maybe tag a friend or two, we would greatly appreciate it. Quick shout out to our goated sponsors, OrbisOnSoul.io and Puffsters. Happy belated Father's Day to all the dads listening in. Hope that everyone had a nice, relaxing weekend, as well as a goated Monday. And for some of our viewers, along with our guest for today, happy Tuesday. Before we check in with our Chad of a guest for today, let me check in with my brother, Mr. Lucky Soul. Luck, what's good?
Taddy, what's good? What's good? Weekend's been great. Father's Day, congratulations to all the fathers around the world. Happy Father's Day. Well, I should say belated Father's Day. It's been good, man. I'm doing good, Taddy. How are we doing this Monday?
Yo, I'm blessed, man. My daughters are having a pool party. It's full on summertime here. So they have friends over. So you might hear some kids screaming in the background, some music playing from my backyard because my office, which is my room now, since I gave my office up to my 12-year-old, is right next to the pool. So apologies in advance if you do hear some kids having fun. And if you don't like it, shame on you. Shame on you. But no, look, I'm good, man. Had a great weekend. Had a great Father's Day weekend. And I'm ready for OTB. You know, Monday is OTB time, so let's get it.
Back to business. And what a person we have on today, Taddy.
No doubt.
We've been kind of highlighting the hated on our other show as well, and I just love the artwork, Taddy. It's the artwork that drew me in, and I'm so excited to find out more about JT.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's pretty much enough about us, right? As usual, no one tuned in here to hear us run our traps. You know what I'm saying? They rocked up to hear what our goated guest for today has been cooking up for the Solana ecosystem for a while now. So like Lucky said, we've been showing and highlighting the insane artwork of the Hated collection, even before the mint and of course post-mint, as well as on our, Floor Watch stream. Giving away quite a few as well, but today we have the honor of the founder and artist of not just the Hated, but Planet Kaju, Kid 9, as well as goated one of one artwork, the creator of the Acidverse himself, Teens on Acid, aka JT in the house. JT, welcome to OTB. Much love for accepting our invitation. It's been a long time coming. How are you doing on this fine Tuesday?
I'm fantastic, man. Appreciate you having me. Let's get into it.
Yeah, look at that, Luck. He's like, let's go.
JT's out the business.
I'm double fisting coffee. I'm ready to fucking go.
Okay. Coffee is my, I did a cleanse, a raw food cleanse and cut coffee out for a month. And that's all I could last was a month. I'm back at it, drinking it again, man. So I need it. I got to have it. And I'm right there with you. I'm not double fisted, but I got a large one over here, iced coffee, ready to go. Well, once again, thank you being on the show. It's been a long time coming. So, what we like to do here, we like to give our listeners a nice deep dive of the man, the myth and the legend behind the PFP. But it's not even a PFP behind the screen because you are doxing and showing yourself. So how did you find your way into this crazy game we call Web3 and crypto?
It's pretty simple. I quit my day job of 20 plus years back in 2021 from the late 90s up until then. I'd worked in a few different studios as an artist, graphic designer, illustrator, over a few different industries. I've worked in hospitality, I've worked in fashion, and worked in basic graphic and web design as well. But I'd sort of, in my last job where I was at, I'd kind of hit my ceiling within that company, and I was there for about 5.5 years. It was a dope job. I got to draw every single day. I was working for a kids surf label brand, just drawing cartoons basically day in, day out. It was sick. But I'd sort of hit my ceiling on what I could do in that business. There was creative director ahead of me that wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. There was an art director ahead of me that wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. So I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? And I started getting a little frustrated just with the inner workings of the studio itself. So I said to my partner, I was like, what if I give myself 6 months to find something else, or to go out on my own? And almost 6 months to the day of talking about that, she fully backed me. I got linked up via a friend of mine that I'd worked with previously. Had this opportunity to get in the ground level and partner up with a guy who was starting an acrylic skateboard art business. Basically, it was an acrylic skateboard for decorative purposes only. And he wanted an artist to come in and create, it was close to like 300 different artworks to launch this business with. And it was all like pop art based, neo pop style artwork, which I was deeply involved in doing at the time. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. I quit my job, got into this, and spent the next couple of months creating upwards of 300 artworks, all like pop art style, a bit vintage pop art, but also modern pop art style, like using cartoons and stuff. Like I can show you a little bit of my neo pop stuff afterwards, because it's a foundation of my artwork as well. But yeah, it's sort of it was just after COVID. We were still experiencing lockdowns in 2021 here in Australia, and it was during one of those lockdowns that my partner in this business, he basically went off and started a concreting business, which is completely fucking opposite of creating artwork to go on walls of rich people's houses. And the whole thing just kind of fell through, and I was sort of left treading water with nothing to do. So immediately kind of went on the attack, and I was like, okay, I got to fucking, I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. I knew that. I didn't want to go back and work for anybody else. I'd had a taste of like being my own boss. So I lined up an art show to kick things off, and started streaming my artwork online, the creation process for this art show. And it was during that process that I came across Deadfellas on ETH, and it immediately spoke to me. The artwork was so dope, the style was sick, and I was like, I'd heard of NFTs. I'd minted one NFT back in March of 2021, but it cost me so much in ETH to do it. I was like, no, fuck this. I'm not, it's too expensive. So I kind of put NFTs in the background for a little bit, which in hindsight, I kind of wish I hadn't, but it is what it is. So it was in September of 2021 that I thought, what I'm going to give creating NFTs a go. And that's when I came up with the concept of the Acid Cat. I'm just going to bring it up on screen right now. So yeah, I had no idea about generative collections. So I basically went in Illustrator, created the first one, which is this one. And this is like the base of the character itself. So I sort of understood what generatives looked like. I didn't understand the process in how they were created. So what I did was multiply this first cat by 52 times, take out its eyes and its fur colors, and then recreate each trait by hand and paste them on top of each other in place, which was extremely time consuming and nowhere near as good as what a generative app would push it out as. But this was my first collection. This is Acid Cat on ETH. It did horribly to start with. Nobody bought any, which is fine. I was really proud of what I'd done. And I started the grind on X, and was just getting like zero traction, like nothing was fucking happening. And all my Instagram followers, because that's where I was sort of based to start with, over the last 10, 15 years with my artwork, they were all hating on NFTs, and they're like, this isn't real. I'm like, this is kind of like digital trading cards. Like, this shit is real. Like, you just got to open your eyes to it and be a bit more accepting of it. And they're calling scam and all this shit. I'm like, fuck, what have I done? So that was pretty hectic. To me, the collection was super fun, and I was always kind of looking for this dope mascot to represent, myself. I'm deeply into Japanese culture, always have been since I was a kid. Grew up on Astro Boy and Transformers and stuff like that. So Japanese culture always has an influence in the style and everything. So Lucky Cat was like the perfect segue for me to get in. So this is the Acid Cat. It's a cute little fucker. Really enjoyed creating that. And it wasn't until I did a few one-of-ones on ETH as well. And I wonder if I can find it here. It may or may not pop up. just give me one sec. So I started doing some one-of-ones, and one of them sold really well. And then all of a sudden, all of my artist friends on Instagram, they're like, "Yo, tell us about NFTs. We want to get into NFTs." I was like, "Oh, now you want a piece of it, you fucking greedy cunts."
Hindsight 2020. Yo, JT, take your time, man. This is your space. So if you need time to find it, you need time to find it. No rush.
Cool.
Nobody's rushing.
It leads into my love.
I love these cats, by the way, JT.
Me too, man. Me too.
Collection, Taddy. That is his first thing, and oh my god, did he slay this? Look at it, it's crazy.
Bro, he had me at Astro Boy and Transformers because I'm old too, man. So and I'm gonna throw Robotech in there. I don't know if any of you guys remember Robotech, but my all-time favorite is Robotech. So
is that right?
Yeah, I love Robotech, man, because it was the first cartoon I saw where people died. And I was like, what is this? Like, people are dying and mech suits and the whole deal. So I was hooked from then on, way back in the day. So, yeah, man. But Transformers as well and Astro Boy. So, yes, sir, for sure.
So, yeah, like, if we just dwell on these guys for a little bit, like, I like to bring in, my pop culture references and the things that I'm interested in. Obviously, basketball is huge for me. Massive Denver Nuggets fan. Have been for the most of my life, so I had to bring some basketball action in with these guys. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles always seem to, make an entrance in whatever I do. And I also got to collaborate with an artist called Flying Fortress, and this is one of his pieces that he put in. He was in designer toys and graffiti culture. He's massive through the early 2000s. So to have him sort of reach out on Twitter and be like, "Yo, can I jump in and create with you?" I was like, "Fuck it, of course." Like, this is huge. So I was starting to see that there was probably a little bit of radness and traction to go along with what I was creating here with Acid Cats. Even though, like, we weren't selling heaps and they were only listed at like 0.05 ETH, but even back then I think it was about $70 or $80 a piece. Here's one of my Nuggets ones.
So when you started this collection, are you stressed out that you're working for yourself now? Is it a little bit of both? You're happy because you got your own time and you're working for yourself, but are you feeling the stress and the pressure of needing to make income, or you had a nice little nest egg to where you weren't really worried about any of that? Like, what was
we were fairly comfortable at the time, and we still are very, very comfortable, my partner and I. We've got 2 kids. We were fortunate to buy our house about 16 years ago, long before I got into NFTs, and we were both working full time. So we sort of set ourselves up fairly well. And when I was sort of like at the end of my rope with the 9 to 5, she was working full time, and she's like, we've got plenty in the bank. We've got a couple of years runway ahead of us. I like to make sure that we're both happy and at peace with where we're headed in life and on our journey. So she gave full blessing. She was like, whatever you got to do, just do it. Just get out of the situation you're in now and just get yourself happy and creating. Because she's an artist as well, so she fully understands, what it's like to have to create every single day and for this to be, everything that we're all about. So it was kind of scary at the start, especially when the skateboard stuff fell through. But when I sort of started streaming my artwork, and I was doing it kind of every day, I was doing this on Twitch, and I'd have people come in, and you get a bit of a boost, hearing kind words about your artwork, and you start to feel like, all right, this is headed in the right direction. Like, I'm doing this for the right reasons. I'm not, trying to take the piss out of anyone. I'm trying to be a standalone artist in this life, like trying to make my own thing and create my own brand and work on this. And, the good times far outweigh the bad. And once I finally found a community after launching on ETH, I found a community that was really into my artwork and what I was doing. It was just, snowballed from there. And so we can get into that now, I guess. I'm not going to worry about trying to find this one-of-one on OpenSea. It's deep in there somewhere. But basically, it was like a Neopop artwork. Actually, I can bring up the other collection, the other pieces in this collection. I can bring it up it's on Mellow, actually.
Was that the page that I had open earlier?
No. So
Okay, got it.
this is a collection called Pussy Whipped.
Let's go.
I knew
And,
Tanya allowed that.
Let's go.
So in the bulk of the last part of 2021, this is the artwork I was creating for the art show to follow in 2022, and this was all being created live on stream. And what I was doing was really tapping into my Neopop background. So if anyone's not really aware, Neopop is the expansion of pop art, in the modern era, pioneered by Takashi Murakami, Japanese artist. He pioneered the super flat era, and it really brings into play comic and anime style, manga style, into fine art. And I really enjoyed bringing in references from cartoons that I grew up with. If I can just find, let's go over here to the Bootlegs. So the Bootlegs is a series that was launched on AVAX, and this is basically a catalog of work that I'd created mostly for Instagram from 2016, 17 up until the middle of 2021. As you can see, it's all pop culture references, a lot of Simpsons, a lot of Hanna-Barbera, but I would redraw these things and kind of put my own twist on it, fuck it up a little bit, play with repetition, change colors, mess things up, and have them suit the Teens on Acid branding and experience, so to speak. So the pink that you see prevalent here is a Pantone color. If anyone's worked in print before, you know what a Pantone is. It's basically a color value that no matter where you print it, it will come out the same color all over. And I picked a pink that I felt was like perfect for me and would become my brand color over the years. Nike has their orange, Microsoft with their blue. Every big brand has. What up, Mox? Thanks for that, man. Appreciate it.
Ox is always supporting.
Mox is a Chad. He's a Chad, man. He's such a Chad.
That.
He's our secretly he's our third co-host, by the way. So, yeah.
Word.
Yes.
So yeah, like this is basically what I was working on for a few years. Just going hard on the pop culture stuff, and just creating some really bizarre, fucked up shit. So
just a quick question here. So I've seen you said this is AVAX, and then I also saw that Neopop was on Soul as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't care. You're all over. You're in whatever ecosystem you want to be in, for the most part. You're trying it wherever.
That way. I started off that way, like multi-chain, and this will come into play as we get later into 2021 and into 2022, 23.
All right, I don't want to jump the gun, but I just had to, call it out because I noticed it for sure,
For sure. So before the Acidverse, in a sense, was created, I was really just attacking this as a solo artist and not as a business or studio type situation. So I started on ETH with Acid Cats, and I'd also found Tezos at the time as well.
Okay.
Tezos was great for artists, really supportive. Didn't really seem to be too much else going on besides art on there. So I got deep into Tezos as well. There's a whole bunch of Neopop stuff there. So at this point in time, late 2021, Neopop was like my full-on focus on what I was doing. So this is where the Pussy Whip came into play. There was one other one in this collection, and I got it animated, and I dropped that on ETH, and that's the piece that I was talking about earlier that sort of sold for a decent amount of money at that time, and that sort of kicked everything off for me in terms of NFTs. And I was like, this is it. This is what I'm doing. I'm all in on NFTs. It makes sense to me. Digital collectibles is dope. I'm all about it. As a collector, my whole life of toys and comics and cards, I could see that this was the next step. And although it's going to take probably another 5 to 10 years for the general masses to click on, I knew straight up, like, this is the shit. I'm all in on this. So yeah, this is the Neopop Nightmares Pussy Whip series. Hugely influential in my time on NFTs because it was like the precursor to me jumping in, and it was sort of the last big collection I created solely for IRL stuff. I've got these printed up quite big on beautiful museum cardstock. So each one of these NFTs on Mallow comes with the print itself. I think there's only 2 left at the moment. They've all been sent out. So yeah, going from this sort of Neopop stuff.
What was the total size of the collection of the Pussy Whip?
There's only 9 of these. So
Wow.
there's 2 left.
Well, not for long. I'm sure those will get snatched up during the stream.
Yeah, there's just these 2. Yeah. So yeah, really bringing into play. This collection in particular was all about candy logos or like footwear logos, bringing in an anime girl, and then also including some form of video game artwork, hopefully from Nintendo, but did branch out from other stuff as well. So had a ton of fun with that one. And as you can see, the color palette really expanded from what I was working on from the previous years, where pink was dominant, and I had like a blue and an orange just to contrast that. Moving into this color palette sort of really expanded things for me and sort of opened me up. So that was kind of the last thing I did before jumping into NFTs full time. And late 2021, I found the Phantom blockchain, Phantom, which is now Sonic. And there was an auction house on Phantom that was doing ridiculous numbers week in, week out. And like artists were getting fucking paid in this auction house, like upwards of 5 to 10 grand for their pieces a week. And I was like, I got to get in on this shit because I could sort of see that there was a runway there, and there was a stability. And being a lifetime artist, I knew that I could come into this auction house, present myself, and hopefully they would understand who I am, what I'm about, and have faith that I'm just not going to disappear once I've got money, that I'm always here to build something, that I've got a back catalogue of work to prove that I'm legit. And as always, I'm doxed. That's where the real thing comes into play. I like to live by that mantra that, be real, be everything you say you're going to be, and follow through with what you're going to do. So yeah, it was awesome to find this community, and then they kind of really latched onto me. And through the first couple of auctions in this auction house, I was showing off Neopop artwork, and the lead of the auction house hit me up, and he's like, your Neopop stuff's dope, but I think you'd do better if you were to bring in original characters and original artwork as opposed to referencing pop culture and doing pop art, basically. So during the course of the conversation with the head of the auction house, a light bulb kind of went off, and I was like, okay, what if I still want to lean into the Neopop stuff, but what if I was to sort of use a reference to create my own universe, so to speak? So I'm not sure if you guys remember the Garbage Pail Kids from the 80s.
Are you kidding me? Come on, man. One of my favorites again, bro. One of my favorites again. Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
The Garbage Pail Kids, like in this conversation, I'm like, okay, so what if I was to do this collection that was based on the Garbage Pail Kids trading cards, and I would create characters every week that we would auction up as NFTs. So this collection became known as TOA Club, and we would auction these off every week. And the cool thing about these auctions is that you kind of had an opportunity to get up and speak in front of, upwards of 100 people in these live streams. It was like every Sunday morning or every Monday morning for us in Australia. And you would get on and you'd speak to the hosts, you'd talk about the artwork you created, and then people would start to bid on the piece, and it'd just go up and up and up, and shit would just go bonkers. So this piece here is the first TOA Club piece, and it represents really the first piece of the Acidverse. So in the process of creating this artwork, and also trying to research and understand what everybody else was doing out in NFTs at the time, and understand how they would build lore and build storyline, build a brand, and then build a community and a culture around their artwork or their collection, I knew that these characters needed somewhere to live. So everything was kind of in a verse. So I was like, it has to be the Acidverse. I'm Teens on Acid. It's got to be the Acidverse. So the TOA Club card collection became the foundation for the Acidverse. And the Acidverse itself at the start was just this fictitious universe that these characters lived in, but the Acidverse would then go on to become the name of our Discord server, and would also evolve from just the Discord server into my creative studio. So this is the first one. They've all got references. I'm just going to kind of scroll through. If you guys
this is the first one, but this is on Phantom, correct?
Yeah, this is on. This is unfortunately locked away on Phantom, which is like it's basically dead. I have thought about migrating them to Sonic, but even Sonic's dead. So I was actually thinking of maybe bringing them to either Base or ETH, and then just airdropping them to the corresponding wallet so that they could live on. But I'm also kind of like, in my head, I'm like, do I just like all good things, sometimes they just have to die. So maybe I just leave them on Phantom, and it was a beautiful thing that it built our foundation. And just like a whole bunch of like trading cards from the 80s just get lost out in like bike wheels and lost in playgrounds, and like we just let this live as it was and where it was, and just it was beautiful while it lasted.
I love that, man, because like Garbage Pail Kids, you don't really hear anyone talking about that. Like that basically dates you when you say I grew up with Garbage Pail Kids, because that hits close to home for me. But also like that this right here that's dead on Phantom and Sonic is the basis for everything that you build on top of that. It's almost like it had to die for you to create what you're in right now. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's how I see it, like, rising from the ashes like a phoenix. So
I love that. So this collection, I'll just zoom in. You can see it's pretty detailed. Got some texture going on there. Really wanted to give it that vintage trading card look. So I set myself up with a template. Everything's numbered. So it's a collection of, my intention was to have 99 of them. I only got 83 created, so I still kind of have to finish the collection in a way, which I think I can do.
Are you going to finish that on Sol or Base or ETH or what?
No,
What's the deal?
I think I could actually finish it on Phantom and just let it die out.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I see it. Just for completions. Completion. Yeah, that would
like not sell them. Just like I just want to create the rest of the artwork. So, I'll just scroll through a couple. They're all based on the same body format, because I wanted to sort of bring in that the generative feel. I wanted them all to have the same body that we work off, and it also made it easier for me to have a body template that I can then just draw on every single week. And all of these are hand drawn on paper that I scanned and colored. I've got the whole stack of them just popped away in my drawer behind me. And I wanted to create a book out of these. I wanted to create slab trading cards, but everything kind of just went tits up with Phantom, and all the liquidity got sucked out of the air, and it really fucked things up. But
did you see that coming, or were you caught stuck with your pants down a little bit?
Caught big time.
Got it.
Yeah, and like it's really unfortunate what happened in the ecosystem of what was being built from this auction house. It was like this foundation of creativity and community, and it spread out, and it got massive, and there were hundreds of artists creating, and it was so incredible. But just like in real life, the gates started to close, the infighting started, the toxicity started, the me versus you started, and we're kind of just on the outside of the Acidverse, just watching all this bullshit unfold, and we're just like, this can't be happening. Like, this was a fucking Garden of Eden, you know, like, it was incredible. And just as price went down, toxicity and volatility went up, and it just became unbearable. So I pivoted to AVAX, basically at the end of 2022, sort of as Phantom and Sonic was dying down. I started releasing more on AVAX, and we'll get to all of that eventually as well. I told you we could talk for hours, man.
You're good, brother. Keep going.
And we plan to, man. Yeah, this is great. This is great. Are you kidding me?
We out here.
Yeah. I mean, not only that, you have so much work to show that it's gonna take a couple of hours. So, man. Like I said, this is your space, and we're getting to introduce you. Obviously, your community knows who you are, but the ones that don't, they're gonna be impressed because I already am, man. So, let's
appreciate that.
Yeah, I think even if you're sometimes in a community, right, JT and Teddy, sometimes there's so much stuff in the past that that's not highlighted properly. And I think this is a great opportunity for existing, even Planet Kaiju holders to get a deep dive of where it all began and where everything kind of stems from. So this is brilliant. Take your time, JT. No rush.
Yeah, buddy.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll just scroll through these. We'll go. You know, there's a lot to look at, so I won't dwell.
Look at that ice cream eyes! I love it.
So you gave everyone sort of like this, you know, within Garbage Pail Kids, they all have like a pretty weird name to set themselves apart and whatever. So I was like fully running with the Garbage Pail Kid style and ethos. There was a Christmas auction, so all the artwork was Christmas based, so this was a Christmas one. And I kind of like really got to stretch and just do some really fucking weird shit that I would otherwise never have done before. So it was super fun doing these week after week. Dude's a giant hot dog. I don't know what the fuck. Yes, some really bizarre shit popped out in this collection, but I'm really, really proud of it, and it built the foundation of the Acidverse.
JT, where does like the inspiration come from? Is it from a little bit of meditation, a little bit of smoking some herb? Like, what are we talking about? How does this come to you?
Dude, so like my daily routine is to wake up, play video games, watch cartoons, troll the internet, listen to music, draw. It's from all. I'm like 48. I turned 48 this year, so I've got like decades worth of influence and inspiration, you know, locked away up here. So it really doesn't take too much of a spark to get something going. You know, like Astro Boy always comes into play with my artwork. As you
I'm sorry. Can you repeat how your day starts in the order again? Because I'm as jealous as it fucking gets of any guest we've ever had on here. You're living my dream life, brother. Holy shit. One more time, just for everyone that missed it. What now?
It's coffee, video games, cartoons, trolling the internet.
Hey, Sadie, we need to reevaluate our lives.
Bro,
we're living a
shitting me? Like, I did not play the game right at all.
I'm also very fortunate, you know, to have, a partner who supports me the way she does, and
Shout out to your partner, man. Yeah, shout out to her for sure.
She's incredible. She's incredible.
She sounds like...
Guster Boy, definitely Astro Boy inspired.
Oh, I'll put that back on there.
And that dude also, he has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bandana as well. So this is Astro Kid. We'll get into Astro Kid after we talk about this TOA club, because Astro Kid really set things off for me in terms of creating generative collections, and really is a foundation. Astro Kid is a massive foundation of the Acidverse. So yeah, these were just these are all just a great chance to create something really fucked up and just get wild with it and let my imagination flow. And week after week we'd just go crazy. So it was cool.
So I'm just gonna go back a bit. What cartoons are we watching? Old school ones, new school ones, a little bit of both?
Everything.
Okay.
I watch everything. I watch old Hanna-Barbera, G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, and then I also watch anime every single day. I canceled my Crunchyroll account. I don't have that anymore.
Got it.
That was too crazy. But yeah, I'll watch especially vintage anime. I love 80s and 90s anime. There's just a vibe to it that is so sick. And then Family Guy every day, because it's just fucked up. It's a good input for when I'm sitting there doom scrolling. I'll watch everything. Literally everything.
In video games, what are we talking? You on which system are you doing? All of them? You got all of them, or what? What we're talking
PS5.
About? Okay.
PS5.
Same.
I play Skate. I play Gran Turismo. I play Need for Speed, and I also play NBA Live 19 because the 2K franchise has gone to shit.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has.
I play NBA Live 19 because it is dope. The gameplay, the mechanics, it's really fluid for something that came out, almost 10 years ago. The rosters are a little messed up, but my character, he's a 99 level character, so I don't fucking care. I just play whatever, and I'm not really much of an online gamer. Like, I play Fortnite with the boys from the Acidverse, but mostly I'm like a solo gamer. So
okay,
racing, basketball, skateboarding is what I play. But I do dive into some other shit. Like, I'll play some Zenless Zone Zero, which is kind of like the Genshin Impact style game, but it's more of a streetwear anime style shit. What else do I play? Vampire Survivors. I like that kind of dungeon crawling, bullet hell survival type stuff. I'm waiting for what is it? Oh my god, I've drawn a blank. It's that Diablo style, free to play. Oh my god, number 2 is just coming out. Path of Exile.
Okay.
I'm waiting for that to come into freebie because I'm a cheapskate. So I'm waiting for that to come free to play. Once that comes free to play, I'll be all in on Path of Exile for sure. So yeah.
Had to ask, man. You said cartoons and video games. I got to hear the list, man. So appreciate that. Sorry, I hope we didn't lose your train of thought or whatnot.
No, not at all. Not at all. Just landing on this one, this Keep Watch Kenny. This brings into play my love of streetwear and sneakers. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the brand Mishka NYC out of Brooklyn. Dope streetwear brand.
Okay.
So this is like an homage to them. I got to actually work with them in the tail end of 2021, so that was sick for me. So yeah, this is just a ridiculous collection that sort of built the Acidverse, really.
And you said 83 have been made, and you need to finish 16. Was it 83? What I heard? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Okay, and 16 more until completion. So.
Which may or may not happen. We'll see what happens.
Got it. It's not like you don't have your hands full, so yeah.
Yeah. We've got a lot going on at the moment, so Yeah, so that's TOA Club. Huge foundation piece, for the Acidverse. It's sort of what got everybody excited in what I was doing.
So wait, I know this is dead on Phantom and Sonic, but I do see that there are some TOA holders in Discord. So how do they show that they hold it? Like, how does that work?
We did have a role set up with one of our bots.
Got it.
That would give them the role. So yeah, I really think at some point they need to be brought to another chain. Wicked, I highly doubt you get your hands on one of these, brother. I think anyone who's holding one will probably never ever sell it.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You'll have to wait until JT does the new ones.
Mox is looking for a way to get one, and I can tell you that right now.
JT, how the remaining ones, if you do decide to finish it off, how would you put them on market? Is it like a mint, or are you going to do an auction? Have you got an idea about how you would let go of these?
I'd probably do an auction or just a buy it now price. Just find a flat price and just let it go.
These are amazing. Look at that.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So also, had to bring in all the references. Video game references, anime references, and just a lot of it's psychedelic backed. The Acidverse. Most of them have like this triple tab on their tongue as well. There's a rarity system. There's all types of shit going on with them if you really like deep dive into it. So.
Another backtrack question. You said Denver Nuggets are your favorite team. Have you been to Colorado? You've gone several times?
Yeah. Okay. I actually went in 2023 for the finals. Oh,
nice. Okay. Congrats.
My first ever NBA game was game 1 of the finals, man.
Yo, that's wicked, man.
Yeah. You can probably tell by this shit-eating grin on my face.
No doubt, man. I from the 8th grade on, I grew up in Boulder, man. So I went to the University of Colorado and everything. So I'm a Buffalo. So yeah, I feel you there, bro. Like the Nuggets are my squad, along with the Lakers as well, because I was born out here. But I claim both. So yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I bleed for the Nuggets, brother.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's TOA Club. We can probably move on from those guys now. We've had a look at enough of those.
Everyone's scouring to try and find these now. Let's go.
This is the problem. Like the marketplaces where you could buy these, they're all gone. They're dead, basically. So it's like impossible to fucking find them even.
Wow.
I had a little conversation with ChatGPT about creating a website where it was basically for our Acidverse, our longtime Acidverse holders. I wanted to create a gallery website where you could basically connect your wallet and it would read all of your Acidverse collections from ETH, Phantom / Sonic, AVAX, all the EVM chain stuff. And it wasn't a marketplace, it was more just a gallery so that you could view all of these dead collections basically, because there's so many out there. And I just thought it'd be rad to be able to provide all of our dedicated collectors somewhere to come and at least, they might not be able to trade them, but at least view what they've bought over the years on Phantom and Sonic. That may still happen. I've still got the chat, and like it was a huge chat with ChatGPT, and it built the app basically. If someone out there wants to dev it and help me release it for free, that would be sick. But yeah, a marketplace that's a whole nother story, to be able to sell these things using Sonic or / Phantom. So yeah, a lot of overheads with a marketplace that I just cannot afford. But it would still be dope to give everyone somewhere to view them at least, from their wallets.
Luck, we're gonna have to reach out to some of the devs we know and see if they can dev this up, brother.
Yeah, why not? It's
it
always good.
It would be dope. It would be dope. Yeah.
100.
So yeah, that brings us to sort of the end of TOA Club there.
Okay.
And then so during the end of 2021, into the start of 2022, I linked up with a couple of guys who were helping artists release generative collections on Phantom and AVAX. And they approached me and they were like, have you ever done a generative before? And I was like, well, I've done the Acid Cats, but it wasn't really a true generative collection. And they're like, well, we'd like to help you do a generative. Like, these one-of-ones are sick. You know, TOA Club one-of-ones, they're cool and all, but we think you could probably, you know, do something crazy with generative collections. So I was like, you know, wanting to try absolutely everything there was to try. I was like, let's fucking go. Let's create something. Let's go nuts. So it was during that conversation, they're like, okay, do you have any ideas straight off the top? Is there anything you want to do? And I was like, well, I've got the base body from TOA Club. We could take that shell, that skeleton, and use that as the basis for a new character. And I was like, you know, the wheels are turning in the conversation in the video chat I was having with them. And the light bulb went off. I was like, well, you know, during 2016-17, I was trying to create a mascot that would represent Teens on Acid as a brand. And what I was sort of like, I went back to this old sketch I'd done at work one morning, and it was basically Astro Boy with a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bandana on. And I was like, this could be, you know, something kind of weird and fucked up to be my mascot. And he'd wear like t-shirts and streetwear clothing and shit like that. So I was like, we could work with that. And I showed them the initial sketches, and they're like, you know, you can build extra traits and put different hats on them and clothes and change the eyes and the mouths and all that kind of stuff. And I immediately saw the vision. I was like, yep, all right, cool. Let's do it. Jumped off the call. I was talking with wifey about it, and she's like, you know, this sounds sick. You're gonna nail it. And I was like, what do I call it? And I was just like, because my name before Teens on Acid was Kid 9. It's sort of a play on the Radiohead album Kid A, along with my basketball number 9. So Kid 9 was sort of like my street name for a little bit. When I'd go do graph and stuff, like Kid 9 was the name I'd put up. So I'm like, all right, we'll bring Astro Boy and Kid 9 together, and we got Astro Kid. It plays heavily onto the neo-pop art style. So that's kind of how Astro Kid was born. So if I can here we go. This is the collection here. So in February of 2022, Astro Kid was minted. And something that these guys I was teamed up with wanted to try at the time was a multi-chain mint. And, you know, being someone that had already released on ETH, released on Tezos, and then Phantom, I was like, fuck it, we'll bring some more chains into play. You know, what can it hurt? Little did I know at the time it would probably hurt a fair bit because shit would get really spread out instead of keeping it focused and contained. But at the time, it seemed like a really good idea. Our focus was to bring together multiple chains and collectors on multiple chains and sort of introduce them to what was happening on each other's chains. So we're like, okay, let's link up with some AVAX bros and we'll show them, you know, it's not just AVAX that has some dope artwork happening. Come over and see what's happening on Phantom. And then we'll take some Phantom guys and we'll take them over to AVAX and we'll collect some stuff on AVAX. And we try and foster this, you know, community of multi-chain collection and basically getting artists and collectors to jump chains and not just be chain maxi, but to help support, you know, multiple chains at once. We got a little bit of, you know, pushback, but from the most part at the time, it was pretty positive. So what we did with Astro Kid is that we had 3 mint phases. Phase 1 was on Phantom, phase 2 was on AVAX, and phase 3 was on Polygon Matic. And the collection size in total was 3,333. And we split that over the 3 chains into 1111, 1111, 1111. And we minted over I think it was a 3-week period. So we minted on Phantom first, then AVAX, then Matic.
Minted to sell out and then move to the next chain.
Yeah, and we minted out really fucking quick. Like each allocation, I think we minted the Phantom allocation out in a couple of minutes. The AVAX allocation went in about 45 seconds, and the Matic one took us maybe an hour or two. There's not many people were minting on Matic. The AVAX allocation was fucking bonkers. Basically, we hit the open mint link, and then shit was gone. Absolutely fucking wiped off the floor. So if I just open, oh, there we go. So this is AstroKid. Released in February of 2022, became the foundation really for the Acidverse. And as you can see, it's got the Astro Boy and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles traits on there. So this was our collection for a good couple of years, and from this initial collection, I kind of branched out and did multiple versions of this because like I could just see so much potential in terms of this base body. I wasn't satisfied with just this one collection, and from here we did like a special edition. We did there's one of ones as well. Where are they? Let me just see if I can find this one of one collection. AstroKid Special Edition.
JT, how long did it take you to create all the artwork for the 3 different chains?
So it was created as one specific collection.
Okay.
And then we just split the assets over the 3 different chains. It was about a month from initial conception through to mint day.
And again, what is your process when you're creating art? Still the same? Wake up, cup of coffee, watch cartoons, play video games, get to work. That's it.
Basically, it's just get in and get stuck into it. I've got a nice big tablet here that I draw on, and yeah, like once the base of the character is done, it's then just add shit on top, draw shit on top, and just keep going. And just like, I make a list of assets I want to do, and then just go from there. Just go fucking crazy. But yeah, I could sort of see an expansion of AstroKid. It wasn't just what we had in the initial collection. So I wanted to, do more one-of-ones, basically. So we created this special edition that are also auctioned off and sold. And then there was a special edition on AVAX. There was a special edition on Phantom. And it sort of I could just see AstroKid becoming this more of a brand instead of just a collection. And the interest in it was quite high. Every time I put one up for auction, it would get snapped up. It gave
can you scroll back up right there? Let me see. Number 20. Holy shit. Number 20 is, wow. Yes, please. OMG. Let's go.
You dig that?
Yeah, big time. I love that one. I mean, I like them all, but that one popped out to me as I need that in my wallet. So yeah.
Word. Yeah, I don't know if I think there's only one for sale. That one there.
Of course.
Like
I'm late to the party. That's what I get for being late to the party. It's proper. It's fine.
So yeah, AstroKid was like our focus for ages, and like I would, do live streams where we did, like crazy fucked up versions of AstroKid, and we'd auction them off, and it was 2022 was like. It was a beautiful year, man. Like we did a lot of shit with AstroKid, and we also released a phase 2 of Acid Cats. So the devs I was working with, also one of my biggest supporters, he was like, "Why don't you take the AstroKid style and body and apply that to Acid Cats, and see where that turns up. So that brought us to Acid Cats Phase 2, which was a little bit of an evolution from. So Phase 1 was directly front facing. Phase 2, I sort of just tilted everything a touch, so it gives us sort of like that little bit of a side-on view. So we dropped Acid Cats Phase 2 in March or April of 2022. So like we're really like building momentum with generatives with AstroKid and Acid Cat through 2022. And like I got bit by the bug. I was like, fuck, I got to create generatives, you know, and it was super fun, and community is like way behind it. Volume was great. We were doing like, I think AstroKit ended up doing almost $500,000 in volume. At the time, it was great. But you know, towards the end of 2022, the chains were sort of slowing down a little bit, and Bud was creeping in. And by that time, I'd also sort of done a few extra little side quests as well. One of the founders I was working with on AVAX had this idea of taking Azuki's beans, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, and giving them the Teens on Acid Acidverse treatment. So like the concept was, what if we did this free mint? It was in, I think, July of 2022, and like we were like hitting the bottom. There was FUD everywhere. Nobody was having a good time, and this guy Moonbags, he's like, what if we drop this free mint, and we kind of just bring a little bit of fun, you know, back into AVAX and try and just, you know, have a good time. So we did this Beans on Acid collection, just another expansion in the Acidverse, just something fun and fucked up to do. So we sort of 2022, I tried everything and anything, mostly just to have fun with it, and you know, like, you know, riffing on pop art culture, you know, taking an existing character, applying my spin on it, and that kind of thing. So yeah, we had AstroKid, we had Acid Cats, we had Beans on Acid. I think next was what was after that? We did the Acidverse Wrestling Alliance as well, because I'm massive into wrestling, grew up on wrestling. So I was like, what if we take these, if you guys remember the muscle figures from the 80s, what if I take them as a base and sort of, you know, create this universe of wrestlers? And so I was like trying to expand the Acidverse. So like these guys would live on Planet Wrestle, and they would wrestle each other, and they'd be like these tiny little guys that would wrestle and carry on and whatever. So like I was really just I had to like keep creating. So I'm like, while I had this urge to create, I can expand on current characters, but then I can bring in new characters and just expand the Acidverse out. So that we're not just like living on one planet, but we're like bringing in multiple planets worth of characters. We had the Dead Mechs, which I like these. So basically, in my head, like there was this war of these mechas. There's like this long forgotten war, and there's like these floating, you know, ruins and mechs out there, you know, in the Acidverse, in the space of the Acidverse. And what if like the souls of demons like inhabited these, you know, these abandoned mechs? And that's kind of like where the Dead Mechs came from. All of these just sort of come from an urge to create something. It comes from a sketch. It comes from just, you know, I just have to do something.
JT,
yeah.
Talk to me about, so all these collections, is your next collection always your favorite, or do you have a favorite out of all the ones you've done so far that you've showed us right now?
Up until now, AstroKid really is the number one.
Okay.
And there was like a side quest on AstroKid. Let me just go back here, called AstroKid Ultra. And I dropped this. This was the first expansion of AstroKid. as a collection. And I dropped this as a free mint on ETH. And this was a massive learning curve for me, because when I first dropped it, I didn't have a whitelist, and it got botted as soon as I set the collection live. Like, there was a lot of hype leading up to it. This AK Ultra, I took a whole new color palette, heaps of new traits, basically a new collection to supplement the AstroKid collection. And it got botted, and I was like devastated. We didn't know what the fuck to do. So I had to immediately kill it on OpenSea and just be like, don't buy this. It got botted. I got heaps of FUD. But like, I refunded as much as I could, because people were buying it on secondary before it was revealed from the guy who botted it. So I had to like do this huge refund out of my own pocket.
What was the collection size?
999.
Got it.
Yeah.
Damn.
But we pivoted, and then I got a whitelist, and then we dropped it. And I think this is probably the best iteration of AstroKid. I think it was most of our favorite. If I could probably speak for the community, where AstroKid Ultra was our favorite. I don't know, just the color palette, the style, everything was sort of like kind of on point. So yeah, I would say AstroKid. There's a special place in my heart for the original Acid Cats, and a lot of people would probably say Acid Cats, but I think AstroKid's my favorite up until moving to Solana. So for 2022, 2023, really just expanded, building the Acidverse out, creating more characters, building the lore, really trying to just thicken, this in kind of the way that Pokemon does, is just thicken the storyline and thicken the universe, and make this thing as big as humanly possible. One of the last generatives I did on AVAX was the Sickos, and this is a special Halloween version of the Sickos. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of the 404 protocol, where you would have a token, like a shitcoin, and it would be connected to an NFT, so that when you bought or minted the token, you would receive an NFT depending on how much you minted or bought of the token.
No, we're familiar with that. We're definitely
cool. So we dropped a 404 in, I think when's this? Okay.
JT, doing all this, what was the marketing like? Were you a Spaces junkie? Was it word of mouth? Were you all over the timeline just with X and IG and whatnot? Like, how were you getting? Obviously, your art is out there for everyone to see. So if they're following you, and I'm sure word of mouth was something, was probably legendary. But were you doing Spaces back at the time? Like, how were you getting? How were you reaching the public other than your artwork?
Yeah, Spaces mostly. We went through a lot of Spaces with AVAX, and like my primary port of call is Discord. This is like our community's in Discord. I've had my Discord server since before I was in NFTs. I started it as an art-based community, and the NFTs just sort of came along for the ride afterwards, and it sort of it went from there. We used to have a weekly VC in our Discord called Squad Goals, and every Wednesday we would jump in and we'd chat for a few hours, and we'd talk about anything I had upcoming. We'd talk about everything happening in the space, over ETH, AVAX, and Phantom, and I would jump into Spaces when I could, and just be present, on X every single day.
Got it.
I'm a bit of a whore like that. I'll just get myself out there. And
I hear you, man.
Run around, you've got to do it. It's mostly, besides our Discord mods, and I've got Jared, who FTM is my heart in the chat. He runs the Planet Kaiju X account. So basically, it's just me and a few Discord mods. You know, we use Rico for our dev stuff on Solana, but everything else was just me, basically. So I'm artist, marketing team, dev, whatever you want to call. So it's a one-man operation for the most part, but I do have help from some amazing people.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So midway towards the end of, we're going to start to transition into why I came to Solana. I don't know if you guys have any other questions about the journey on AVAX and Phantom.
No, I mean, I do on the one that was multi-chain, like how ambitious that was. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around even the concept of doing that at the time. Like, that's just crazy to me. Like, what was the reasoning behind that? Just so you could get it out to show the artwork and show that it was possible on other chains, or can you talk us through that? Because that sounds ambitious as I've heard in a long time. And just not to mention, that wasn't your beginning journey. That was like, you know, after you've done a few things. So it's just crazy to me. I don't think anyone's doing that right now. And obviously, you know, Phantom's dead and Sonic is dead now, and AVAX has slowed down a bit. And Solana and ETH seem to be the NFT places right now. But I just want to hear how did they convince you to do that? That's basically what I want to know.
So what were the biggest factor in doing this multi-chain collection was that we had the utility to bridge NFTs from Phantom, Matic, and AVAX across to each other. So you could mint on AVAX, but you could bridge them to Phantom, or you could bridge them to Polygon Matic. So essentially, the collection was like, it was just this living thing that could exist on 3 chains at once. And you could, because the collection was split over the 3 chains, there were traits and legendaries that you could only get on a certain chain. So you could mint. So for example, there's this guy here. He has an AVAX t-shirt, but you could mint this guy in AVAX, but you could bridge him to Phantom, and you could become like the first person on Phantom to have an AVAX t-shirt. So it was kind of like this weird gamification, collectability angle as well.
And also highlighting the bridge as well.
Exactly. Yeah. The bridge was this incredible thing that we thought was just going to be a game changer. It went down. Multi-chain went fucking, it got hacked, and it like completely killed this shit for us. Like, you know, hindsight's 2020, right? Probably should have just released everything on one chain and let it be that. But, you know, it was new, it was fresh, it was something that we wanted to try. And that's something that I kind of like, I hang my hat on trying something, you know, like I'm always going to regret not giving something a go. So it seemed like a dope idea at the time. So I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's see what happens. And it was an opportunity to, you know, expand from one community out to another, hopefully find new collectors, not just for myself, but for everyone who was coming along for the ride, and for the other artists, you know, on chain. So
I tell Lucky this all the time, that comfort is the death of creativity, and sometimes you just got to try something new, and sometimes you got to take an L to get a W as well. So, you know, I mean, obviously while you're
plenty of those, bro.
Yeah, man. Obviously, while you're taking the L, you're like, "Fuck, I hate this L." But
that helps you pivot. Yeah, you know, like when you do take losses, you're like, okay, what did I do wrong? How can I fix? Is there any fixing it? Can I fix it? How do we pivot from that? What could I have done? And that helps you with the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I guess that's kind of why, like, I mean, I'm going to keep going with collections. There's always going to be, as an artist, there's always going to be something I need to create, and it's sort of that statement there really plays into Planet Kaiju a lot, because what Planet Kaiju gives me as an artist is a platform to create without having to create more collections. This is what I'm really excited about with Planet Kaiju, is that the trait store is everything for me. but we'll get into that.
Well, that was my main question. Just that I wanted some clarification on the
Cool.
multi-chain launch. I'm not sure if Luck has anything that he wants to ask before we move on, but that was the one I wanted clarification on. So I appreciate that. Luck, what do you got anything, or are you just sitting back and enjoying the show so far?
I'm literally just enjoying the show, and at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I've got a marketplace open up on the side, so I'm always scouting. So no, this is good. This is very good. I'm excited to hear about the transition when you're ready, of course.
No,
onto
JT, you
Solana.
haven't disappointed, bro. You said you're gonna speak forever, and I'm loving every second that we've got for, man. So please take your time. We are not in any rush. Let's keep it going.
Sick. All right, cool.
Did he freeze?
Daddy, did you jinx him?
I did. I think I did. I think he froze.
Yo, JT, you're frozen. I don't know if you can hear us, but yeah, it might be worth Daddy if he jumps off and jumps back on.
JT, I'm gonna remove you and then just come back through the link that I sent.
Yeah.
Let me try that. Yep. We kicked our guest, bro. We kicked him.
Daddy.
We kicked him.
He was on a roll there, but hey, man.
Will you hit him up in Discord? Let him know to join again.
Yeah. Of course.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, stream, but you know how it goes. Technology is a mofo. Sometimes she agrees, sometimes she doesn't. But yo, so far so good. Holy shit, bro! This guy's got more talent in his pinky than some people have in their whole body. Like, man. Wow.
Yeah, definitely join from the same link. He said his internet might have dropped out, so he's jumping back up. But yeah, as you said, Teddy, so much stuff going on, and the different kind of style of art and the inspiration behind it, amazing, and there's still more collections he's got to talk about. So
Lucky, I'll keep it a buck. You know me, I'm usually very skeptical of multiple collections, but when the artist has this much to show the world, it's like, why the fuck not, man? For real, like seriously. So exactly. Look, this is almost like a blessing, really. Like, we don't want to limit what he's got in his brain. Like, just show us, So no, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it a lot. It's like one of my favorite streams. If we can get him back up, I might have.
He will join back up. But yeah, as you said, it's amazing, and there's obviously more collections to dive into. I do think once JT is back up,
he is back. Let me get him.
Brilliant. We'll be good to go.
Can you hear us?
Yo, you back?
I can't hear him though. Can you hear him?
No. Is your mic on mute,
Hello?
JT?
There we go. All right, say something.
Yo, you got me?
Yep, loud and clear. He's back. He's back.
Yo.
Yo, can you hear us? Real question.
And my ISP, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. If you want to show your screen again, we'll hop over to the other screen and we'll get to it. Oh, there it is. I see you have it. So let me go here and let me add you here and let me add you here. And there we go. We're back.
Yeah, my ISP is doing our broadband provider is doing maintenance in the area. My internet's just gone. So
doing the old dog shit shuffle is what I like to call that.
Bro, so bad. Our infrastructure around this suburb is just total shit. So hopefully they're fixing it for us.
Well, your screen is coming in perfectly clear and you're a little bit blurry. So we'll just make it work. We'll make it work.
Okay, cool. I can always turn camera off if that's better.
Yeah, let's give it a try. If you want to have a PFP up on there or something, or it doesn't really matter, but we see you. It's just blurry, so it doesn't really matter to me. It's all on you. But
just imagine you're really drunk or something.
Okay, I don't have to imagine too hard.
I just got to turn the volume down a little bit. There we go. So where were we at? Holy shit! I just got totally thrown out there.
No, we were talking about. I asked you about the multi-chain collection, and then Lucky. I asked Lucky if he had any questions, and he said he was just really sitting back and listening while trying to snipe on marketplaces and whatnot. You were about to pivot to Kaju, I believe. Cool. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, through. I'm just going to shut this one. Actually, I'm going to go.
Again, no rush, man. No rush at all. So, you know.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. One thing that I did do for our collectors was get the entire AstroKid collection recreated in 3D, which was an awesome undertaking. Super fun. I worked with an incredible artist, and he sort of just created everything in 3D for us, which was dope. We just dropped that for free, airdropped everybody who had AstroKids. So you basically got the original version plus a 3D version. It was a pricey undertaking, but something that was super fun. I think you can still buy these. Yeah, they're still up on AVAX, which is cool. So that was sort of I think that was the last thing I did on AVAX, was drop these things and get them out to everybody. We did that on like the 3rd or 4th birthday of AstroKid. It was a couple of years in the making to get this collection done, but well worth it. And what that enabled us to do was get a toy created of AstroKid as well. I've got one on the shelf, but he's in like multiple parts. I might bring him up later on when we start talking about toys.
It sounds like you had a solid foundation over there at AVAX, though, man. Can you talk about how that all came about, like the connections that you had with AVAX? Because, like, you're just pumping them out, and the artwork is goated. Just the fact that you have that kind of support over there, just to cultivate this goated artwork, is kind of rare. So,
a lot of Phantom Sonic people kind of moved over to AVAX, collectors, not DeFi, but collectors. Because there was still a lot of artists on AVAX, still, pushing collections, pushing one-of-ones, pushing generatives, and still really into everything that, artists are into. And the collector community was still, very positive. Everyone was still willing to help each other out. This is in 2023. And then sort of a few founders sort of came into AVAX at the tail end of 2023, leading into 2024, and kind of fucked it up. And things started to get really greedy. Things started to just get a little bit out of hand. And the general support, kind of from the bigwigs at AVAX, people who sort of dictate what's popular and what's not, they basically shut the gates, just like IRL gallery keepers, it was really, really disappointing and disheartening to see that people who'd been building on the chain and fostering the creative community for years were just getting overlooked and ignored, but basically by the people with the money. And they were preferring to back brand new people coming in off chain in favor of just, making more money off the collectors instead of, fostering a really creative community and pushing the real founders, so to speak. So it's sort of like things sort of were starting to wind down for me on AVAX. I wasn't losing interest, but I could sort of see that no matter how much effort we put in, the pool was getting, smaller and smaller and smaller. Not just for collectors, but for artists. So it was around October 2023 that the idea for Planet Kaiju was starting to form. And there was, because of, as you've seen, like I have an abundance of collections. For some people, it's confusing. For some people, it's not. It's, for the most part, I admit it's a lot to take on when you first come in. If you first come across one of my collections and you really have no idea of the history behind what I do and the characters themselves, it can be like quite daunting. And you're like, where the fuck do I start with this shit? Like, it's too much. So I was speaking with a founder, and he was like, why don't you just maybe not rebrand, but focus on one single collection, for the foreseeable future. And I saw the merit in that. I saw the positivity in that. And I was like, okay, like I do have something on the back burner that I can cook. And I did have a free collection I wanted to drop as well at the time. And he kind of discouraged me from it. And in hindsight, this guy discouraged me from it so that it wouldn't take away from the collection he was about to drop, which I didn't find out until about a year or two later. But that's fine. That's all in the past. But the seeds for Planet Kaiju had been sown. It was there. And the idea for Planet Kaiju was starting to really percolate. But I had a lot of, in my mind, I wanted it to be like the thing that the Acidverse was known for. I wanted it to be our foundation, our focus, moving forwards. I wanted it to be the flagship of the Acidverse, and I wanted it to be very special. So I kind of took my time in the groundwork of the style that I wanted it to look like. So I created a few different one-of-one collections to help me. My internet might be a little bit slow here. The transition might be slow because I'm hotspotting from my phone. All my service providers suck. Australian internet is garbage. So one of the collections I put together was this Combo Breakers, and I was using these one-of-one artworks. I was streaming in the server and just sort of using these artworks as a bit of groundwork to figure out how I wanted Planet Kaiju to look, and the overall feel of it. Like I was developing the color palette, developing the line style, developing the shape and how much volume the character would take up within the PFP, developing the streetwear style, just developing everything, the visual language, all of that. So these were super fun to work on. And it really sort of put the groundwork in for Planet Kaiju, really leaning into an 80s graffiti style, thicker line work, but also keeping my natural edge and Teens on Acid styling. Working with monsters and weird creatures and demons, all based on that kaiju style, but also bringing in weird hoodies and graphics on the clothing and playing around with the palette, making sure everything kind of fit. So there was a couple of collections. There was that one, the Combo Breakers. There was, let me see if I can find it. What was it? There was this crew that we were working with, Swole Beach. They had an auction house.
JT, what year was this? This is 2024?
I think this was, late 23 to early 24.
Okay.
So I took in this auction house, and while I'm trying to develop the Planet Kaiju style, I was like, what if there were bootleg TOA Club cards? So I created this sort of like bootleg version of the TOA Club card while also developing Planet Kaiju. My God, that's so slow. Apologies.
Hey, you said it's going to take 4 hours. I think you're the one who kind of jinxed us. So, if it takes 4 hours, it takes 4 hours, brother. Let's go. Let's go.
So this is groundwork for Planet Kaiju. Kind of had the idea of taking the side profile PFP, but also having the character sort of look over its shoulder a little bit, and I was kind of married to this a lot from the start. But then, as I was sort of developing it in my program Illustrator, I wasn't like, there was something about it. It just wasn't working. I wasn't really feeling it. So through 2024, while I was developing the Planet Kaiju artwork, I also had a lot of IRL stuff happening, which sort of like, it kind of fucked me up. And I kind of lost track a little bit. While we're on this page, actually, I'll just show you. This is my wife's artwork. She's dope as hell.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, she's amazing. She has this kind of Scandinavian Japanese style. She's sick.
Does she do stuff on the side as well, or is that her primary job as well as an artist? Or
no, she's
okay.
She's a care worker for people with dementia.
Wow, look at this art!
But yeah,
brilliant.
she's also an art hustler. She's so good. I just thought I mentioned her while I was on this page.
No doubt, no doubt.
So yeah, that was sort of like the development of Planet Kaiju, like just getting it to where I thought I wanted it to be, and then so yeah, that brings us to, when did we drop it? 2025. So yeah, 2024, quite a hard year for me, just dealing with some IRL stuff. My dad was going through his own dementia journey. So yeah, pretty hard on the family, and I really was like having a hard time focusing on artwork and trying to work on Planet Kaiju. But sort of got to the end of 2024 into 2025. I was like, 2025, this is it. This is going to be the year that we pump it out and get it going. So at the start of 2025, where am I going to head to? I might head over to what I create my artwork in. And this brings us to Planet Kaiju. Is there any way that I can turn down the volume of the music?
The background music that we've got playing?
Yeah, just for myself.
No, we can turn it a bit down, Teddy.
I just can't hear a thing.
Is that better?
Yeah. I could just barely hear you guys. That's all.
Perfect.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we'll close Pussy Whipped. We don't need that. We don't need Astro Kid. Oh,
I just turned it off completely. Is that better for you?
Oh yeah. The background music's cool. Like doesn't matter. It's just like quite loud.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah. No worries.
So yeah, before we dropped Planet Kaiju, having a chat with the crew, because like I've got a small group of guys that I like to run everything by, like they're my trusted guys. I was kind of like, we should probably drop a free collection on Solana, because we decided, where are we going to put Planet Kaiju? Where the fuck are we going to launch this? Because Sonic Phantom dead for NFTs. ETH, I thought at the time was like, I don't know, there was like a whole fucking network of FUD happening on ETH, and we're just like, what about Solana? Like the NFT volume on Solana is still quite high. Collectors are collecting to collect. It's not just a mint and flip situation. So we're like, okay, let's jump onto Solana. Let's see what that's all about. But I was like, before we come to Solana, we can't just come in and mint a collection, expect people to pay for a collection without knowing at least who we are and what we're doing. So I was like, okay, I've got an itch to scratch in terms of like drawing something up. I needed to get back into, like, 2024 was so hard for me. I had to get back into the flow of my creativity and really sort of build up and sort of get my confidence back within my artwork and myself. So I was like, all right, let's drop a free collection. Let's kind of make it a little bit like Astro Kid, but not Astro Kid. So this is where Kid 9 came into play. So this was Kid9 was a free mint in February of 2025, last year, and sort of just our introduction, my introduction as an artist to the Solana collector base and ecosystem. Yeah, I got to sort of scratch that itch and do something fresh and new. Take AstroKid's base character style, give it a new edge, a more hand-drawn feel. I'm not sure if you guys noticed as we were looking at Kid9 earlier that the line work is very monoline. It was all done in Illustrator. It's all vector, all very clean. With Kid9, I wanted more of a hand-drawn feel. I wanted to sort of give a bit of a precursor for what was to come with Planet Kaiju, because Planet Kaiju has its line style is very organic, has a more hand-drawn feel to it. So sort of Kid9 was like the preview basically of what was to come.
How was that, JT, when you came over to Solana, right? How was the reception after you dropped this collection?
It was positive for the most part. It wasn't huge, but we minted pretty quick. I dropped this on Launch My NFT, because I hadn't had a dev to work with on Solana yet. So I was like, I'm always looking for ways that I can create and mint myself. So use Launch My NFT. I think it went within like 2 days, about 48 hours, which was rad. Being a free mint, things go fairly quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Did obviously the old crew from AVAX, they all came over, showed support, I'm sure. And then you started the formation of people that are in the Solana NFT space joining the community. And that, as you said, initially it went really well. And now you've obviously slowly built it up to a stage where I'm sure you've got a lot of Solana native NFT holders now part of your community.
Yeah, that was a big part of the conversations we had before we came to Solana as well. Would the people who are still, backing the Acidverse, the people who are collecting on Phantom and AVAX and ETH, for the previous few years, how would they feel about coming to Solana? How would they feel about us dropping a collection on Solana? Because, it's not an easy thing to do to switch from, one chain to another. It's a lot easier when it's EVM because, everything stays in the same wallet. But when you come to Solana, you've got to, basically jump to a new wallet. It's a new blockchain, new coin. So everything kind of, switches up. So I had to make sure that everyone was down with what we were doing. Got the blessing from the community. So it was like, all right, let's all go for a ride over to Solana and see what's happening.
Had you already been... Oh, go ahead, Luck.
No, I was just going to quickly say that, did you find, can you kind of spot the difference when you joined Solana on how people traded these NFTs compared to your previous collections on other chains?
Yeah, I think there was less botting and flipping on Phantom and AVAX. It was more a matter of grab it, put it in the vault, and never sell it.
Collecting.
Like full on collecting. Like there was plenty of volume to be had, because you're always going to get, that percentage of the collector base that wants to, make a profit and flip. And, we love that as well because volume's great. So I just found for the most part, the people in our Discord server were diamond handers. They would collect to collect, and they would trade as well, but not so much selling. Whereas when we come to Solana, like a lot of our new collectors, no problem selling and putting stuff on the floor, which is great for the ecosystem as well. Like there's room for absolutely every style of collector. I believe so. Yeah, it's different, but it's the same in a way.
Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, go for it, Teddy.
No, I was just going to ask, had you purchased any NFTs on Solana before you launched your own collection to get a feel for it? Like,
Mm,
or did you just
I've been
go in?
I've been gifted a few,
Okay.
but I wasn't really aware of the, like where do I jump in? Like some of the
Mm,
prices were just insane, and I just wasn't. When we're talking about the top collections, Mad Lads and the Clays and all that, and I was just like, fuck, and where do I start here? Kind of thing. And
right.
I had, no real community outreach. I didn't know anyone that was like releasing on Solana either. So it felt, it was quite daunting,
Mm.
not having anyone to talk to, any other artists or anything like that. So I was like, it was like the new kid at school. You know what I mean? Like, no
Yeah.
friends, just sort of eating lunch by myself. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's crazy too, being the new kid at school with like
Yeah,
multiple collections under your belt that are all goated too. Like feeling like the new kid on the block when you have this like pantheon of art just following you is crazy, man. I'm sure that had to have
it's
been
an
weird.
ego hit, like you're like, you sort of do things for a few years, and your ego builds up a little bit, your artist ego, and you're like, fuck yeah, we're gonna jump over here, we're gonna slay, everyone's gonna love this,
Yeah.
and that happens sometimes when things become a little bit of an echo chamber, and all you hear is positive vibes and good
Yeah.
stuff, and like we all love that, like it's awesome. But if you don't have anyone questioning what you're doing, or even hating on what you do,
Mm.
it's like, well, you don't sort of think about, well, what if people don't like it? Well, you try not to think about it. You want people to dig what you do. So yeah, like you just jump in. You're like, we're gonna fucking slay, and when you don't slay, you're like, oh,
Mm.
okay.
Right. Right.
And
You're like,
we're
well,
still
it's
like
them, not me. My shit rocks.
it's
Beast
the
mode.
children who are wrong.
JT, out of when you first came to Solana and you
Yeah.
minted this, what other kind of founders reached out to you to show support and kind of welcome you into the Solana ecosystem, or did you find or do you still find founders are kind of still pigeonholed into their own NFT projects?
Yeah, I've got to be honest. When I first came on, like in terms of founders, nobody was reaching out. I think it's still a little bit dog eat dog, but there are still, like, I found through Planet Kaiju, there are some amazing founders and artists that are really happy to work together, on helping build each other up. The tide rises all boats kind of thing. But there's also some that are just impossible to get their collectors into what you're doing for whatever reasons.
Mhm.
And that's fine. Like sometimes the art might not speak to, whale collectors, and they're all in on mids, or on Utes or DeGods or whatever they're into, and they might dig your work, but there's a big difference in supporting financially and supporting by saying your artwork's dope. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
course.
cool. We're still going to do what we do.
Yeah, of course.
I don't really want to name drop anyone in terms of who did and who didn't support. I don't, I'll just say that
Yeah.
we did receive an influx of collectors and not necessarily founders, a couple of founders of smaller collections, but we did receive an influx of collectors and artists who have stuck around since Kid 9. A lot more from when we dropped Planet Kaiju, because I think working with Rico, working with Gotham, really helped open the eyes of the Gaines collectors, and furthermore into Basque, and a few other collections and communities as well. Yeah, I think Mutants came along for the ride for Planet Kaiju. We had a few phases on the whitelist. I wonder if I can actually find that. There weren't heaps.
But as you said, it kind of built over time, right? So when you initially dropped
Yeah.
K9, there wasn't too much kind of networking going on or connections being
No.
built. But with
No.
Planet Kaiju, that's when it kind of really started, and connections came in, and then with obviously the hated, uh, even more so minting on GOTM's launchpad, and obviously being listed straight away on Orbis as well, and the partner projects. That really does kind of give projects some outreach, awareness, which they might lack otherwise. So it's good to hear.
Yeah, I think Gotham as a community and ecosystem, it's essential if you want to build anything substantial and long lasting. Getting this week it's the way to go, because the launchpad's incredible. The tools available for founders and artists through Gotham is next level. It's everything that I ever was looking for as an artist and my ambition with NFT collections. We discussed years ago, a trait store system, for AstroKid. We discussed that in 2022, and we'd sort of had plans to do it. It just never eventuated. So I think Jared FTM is my heart in the chat. I think he was the one that introduced me to Gains and Gotham. And he was like, yeah, you've got to check out what these guys can do. And once I had a look and I saw the list of tools available, I was like, yeah, we're in. We have to do this. So we jumped on a call with Rico, and I explained to him the scope of what I wanted to do with Planet Kaiju, because it was unlike anything that I'd done before. It wasn't just a single character that we're basing all the traits off. And it wasn't something that was just going to be a single collection, a static single collection that sort of just stood there for what it was. I wanted Planet Kaiju to be this long-lasting legacy of the Acidverse, and to be a collection that evolved over the years, so that you could, if you were to come in at ground level on day one, and then stick with the project for 2 or 3 years, the evolution in your artwork and in the NFTs that you bought would be incredible. It would be like something that you've never seen in NFT collections before. And I still think we're not even a year in. I still think that we're like the most collectible and most customizable collection there is, that I've ever seen. I've done 7 trait drops, trait store drops with Planet Kaiju, essentially released a side-by-side collection just via extra traits with Planet Kaiju. And we're not even a year old with this thing. So, there's stuff we haven't even tried yet. There's the reroll system that Gotham has that we haven't even touched on that yet.
There's plenty of opportunities there. We'll be going into the Orbis, kind of how Orbis has kind of supported you and GOTM Labs, because obviously there's the buyback polls as well, something which I'd like to highlight on the stream as well, and how that's helped Planet Kaiju with Orbis essentially buying NFTs from your project, and giving it back to loyal holders, which is a very unique system that they have in place. But in terms of this Kid9 project, JT, how long after Kid9 were you like, okay, now I've got Planet Kaiju is on the back burner, it's ready to get launched? How long did you let people sit on K9 before you kind of then brought Kaiju to the forefront and showed it off to your community?
So I've been teasing Planet Kaiju probably for almost 2 years. We just hadn't locked down a chain. So I was working on the artwork for Planet Kaiju while I was working on the artwork for Kid9, just making sure that things were flowing the way I wanted them to flow. So it wasn't long after Kid9 that I was like, okay, this is our introduction. What's up? Hey, Solana, we're here. This was, basically handing out free bags of crack, and trying to get people hooked on what we're trying to get people hooked on what we're doing. So yeah, So this released, Kid 9 released in February. Planet Kaiju dropped in August of 2025. So we had a couple of months in between to build it up, to show previews of what we were doing, to let people know what was up. And yeah, it's sort of, we found some collaborators in terms of, I think we had Basque, I think we had Mutants on Soul. They're the first two that come to mind. I think we had a few more as whitelist partners as well. So when it came to Mint Day, it was still kind of we weren't quite sure how it was going to go. It was still very fresh in Solana, and I think we still are. Like just over, I guess we're coming up on 18 months in Solana, which for some might be a long time, but for me, I think we're very early to Solana. We still haven't done a lot, but we've done a lot, but we haven't done a lot. I think we're still fairly new on the big collectors' radars. They probably still want to see, another 8 to 12 months of us before they start to buy in, and see that we're actually really dedicated to what we're doing and sticking around. Like, I really don't see myself launching on EVM chain ever again. Like, I'm really happy with how easy Solana is to use. I'm really happy with the community. I think everyone in our community is really happy with, where we're at right now, in terms of using Solana as our home for NFTs and collectibles. So yeah, I guess this sort of leads us into Planet Kaiju and.
Well, JT, if Avalanche wasn't pivoting and basically showing you that they were just about the bottom line and profit and whatnot, you might never be on Solana. You would still be on
quite possibly
AVAX.
Yep. Yeah. If the AVAX Foundation had thrown any support our way, after years of supporting the creative community there, because like we didn't just launch NFTs on AVAX. We bought and swept floors on AVAX. Like we put a lot of money into other collectors and other collections as well, and we tried to support everything that was going on there, which I think it's incredibly important that as an artist and founder, you don't just drop artwork, but you've got to buy other artists and other founders' collections as well. And as much as I can afford, I do that as well. Here, one of the biggest collections I like to dip into is the Duster Gang, which I don't believe is on Orbis yet. Hopefully they jump on soon. I should get onto Gimmicks, the artist behind Duster, because that collection's sick. And he's one of my best mates in the space. I've known him for years, and he's an incredible artist. So yeah, I'd love to see Duster Gang on Orbis. They're linked up with the UFD coin. So yeah, it's all, you've got to support. And that's what wasn't happening on AVAX, is that there was no support coming in from the foundation, and they were more happy to support brand new people in the space that would help make them money, instead of supporting artists that have been in the space for the last 3.5 years, who were 1, struggling, 2, supportive, 3, putting everything they had into AVAX and repping the brand and repping the blockchain. So yeah, it's unfortunate. And there was just a lot of meme coins sort of took off there in the later parts of 2023, early into 24, and it got so toxic, and it all just became a race to the bottom, and it was too hard to handle. So I kind of just had to distance myself from it a little bit, and jumping to Solana and making that pivot, never look back. It's the best thing I think we've done as a community. Yeah, I love it on Solana. It's great.
Sure. We need to give a shout out to the AVAX Foundation. Thank you for fading, because we wouldn't have you on Solana if they didn't. So
yeah, word, that's probably true. Yeah. So yeah, leading into Mint for Planet Kaiju, just working on the artwork for a couple of months and really getting it to where I wanted it to be. I think the easiest way will be to show on screen here how I create the collection. So I'm just going to go into manage. I use this app called Bueno. I came across it a few years ago, and it sort of just does everything I need an NFT generator to do. It's really powerful in terms of its rules, so that I can set up rules so that certain traits don't work with each other and certain traits only work with each other. It gives me the option to create templates, which was massively important with this one, because with Planet Kaiju, I was doing something that I'd never done before, and that was having multiple characters within one collection. It was really ambitious, and I like to think I made the right call here, because while it's quite overwhelming for new people to come in and understand what's happening with Planet Kaiju, it gives me the platform to create endlessly within one collection. I can evolve this collection infinitely over time without having to mint or create a brand new collection. And that was one of the major pushbacks and feedback that I did receive when I was creating on AVAX and Phantom, is that, you know, you're creating multiple iterations of Astro Kid and you're essentially diluting the original collection, which I disagreed with. I didn't think it was diluting the original. I was expanding upon it. But what I think the power that lies within Gotham Labs and the trait store, and within having multiple templates within Planet Kaiju, is that there's no dilution, but there's infinite expansion. I can just keep this going forever, which I really, really dig. And it sort of gives me an opportunity to create characters over multiple categories. I can create apes, birds, bears, Godzilla style, and then I've got the demons and the humans, which give me, you know, especially the demons, gives me free reign on basically anything I want to create. Really, really open, really creative, really fun. So Rico was like, "This is fucking crazy. What are you doing?" Hadn't really seen anything like this before in terms of, you know, the multiple templates, creating multiple character collection. But he was like so accommodating and open to what I was trying to create here. And there are a few things I'd probably do differently from the start, but for the most part, this is how I created Planet Kaiju. So we had the 6 different categories of demons, Goji, which is Godzilla, you know, really working into that old tokusatsu, Japanese Ultraman, Godzilla, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we had the demons, the Godzillas, the kings, which are a nod to King Kong, and also everyone loves an ape on Solana and ETH. So we had to bring the apes in.
JT, I just want to take it back a bit, because I've gone on the record saying I am not a fan of trait stores, but hearing you talk about why you love the trait stores has honestly kind of changed my opinion of it, of you saying I can always work on this art and add to it whenever I want. That is the whole reasoning behind the trait stores for you. And I've never even thought of it from the artist perspective of why they would even want a trait store. But here, like I said, hearing you say that makes me rethink some of my thoughts on trait stores. Some obviously are doing it for different reasons, but to hear how passionate you are about your art, not just Planet Kaiju, but all your art leading up to this, just makes me rethink my whole premise upon trait stores, man. So I appreciate that take on it, because I hadn't thought about it from the artist point of view.
No, I dig that. That's cool. Yeah, I think depending on how you implement it, it can either be something awesome or it can be a detriment to the collection. It's all about how you go about it, I think. You know, I've seen trait stores pop up that, you know, charge a fair bit of Solana just to change a trait, and we kind of didn't want to go down that route either. I like to make things as cheap as possible for my collectors. So we primarily use our coin, our PK coin, which you can stake your Planet Kaijus for, and we freely give out as well. It's our primary currency for the trait store. And I think we use the very, very minimal, least base amount of Solana per transaction. I think it's 0.00025 per transaction in the trade store. So half a cent or something like that. It's very minimal. I have had a few traits in the trade store that I put in at like 1 sol, like the customizable borders. Like if you were to purchase one of those, you would get a custom PK, which are hell fun to create. But for the most part, I want traits to be accessible to everybody who collects. So yeah, I think it just gives you another layer of freedom and expansion as an artist. And to watch the collection grow over time. And it's like it sort of mirrors IRL type stuff. Like your wardrobe evolves over time. You don't just wear the same shit day in, day out, day in, day out. And with a heavy streetwear edge, I want to be able to include seasonal jackets, seasonal hats. Like I really wanted to sort of have this real streetwear brand merged with this fantasy kaiju collection, and really just push everything that I've done and created up until this point to like into this wild collection. And I know you guys aren't big fans of the style, and that's cool. Not everybody is. For me, it's got like where I started with the human body. It's got a real. Let me just grab this. Okay, it's got this real 80s graffiti sort of vibe to it in the way that the head is structured, the way that the nose is, and the way the eye is shaped and everything. So I really lent into like this 80s graph style when I was creating this collection. So it's kind of, they're kind of squat and fat, and the line work's pretty fat. And they've got this edge to them. It was really difficult, like trying to work a body shape that would work over multiple characters, and then also have this singular collection of clothing, of traits that would work over multiple body styles as well. I think that was my biggest challenge, because there are parts on the Gojis, on the lizards, for example, that sort of like with their spines and their spikes and shit may or may not fit very well with, say, like the human shape or the bird shape or the bear shape. So I had to be really mindful when creating all of this stuff that all of the clothes sort of covered all of the parts of each character. Super fun to like get into, pretty technical. And there's a ton of traits to work from. Really lent into Japanese pop culture and other style collections, other style cartoons and stuff like that. Like we also had specials and prizes. So the prizes, I think we had these 3 inserted. God, it's so slow. I'm so sorry about my internet. I think the gold and silver.
These are similar to what you've got right now, right? For the 1 of 1s, you put a placeholder there, and if you draw this, you get your own bespoke 1 of 1.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So the gold and silver were, I think gold was 1 sol. Whoever minted that got 1 sol. Silver was half sol, and the rainbow mascot was a custom.
So JT, when does it come through your mind? When does it come to your mind that I'm going to have these facing right? Do you know right away? Like, just curious.
No, so that sort of had that. Well, facing right goes right back to 2021, when I was first getting into NFTs, because I heard someone say in a space or something, or in a chat, that when you're on Twitter and you've got your PFP and you've got your timeline next to your PFP, if your character is facing the right, it looks like it's saying what's ever in your timeline.
Huh.
So that's why I've sort of always tried to either have them front facing or to the right, because that's where, you know, everything you say is spat out on the right side.
Got it. No, that's the first time I've heard that. That's crazy. Okay, let's fucking go.
And
Glad I
it's
asked.
always sort of stuck with me. So
Okay.
and also Azuki faces the left, so I wanted to face the right.
God.
You know, just sort of, you know, play into all that kind of stuff as well. Like, you know, like you try to think of absolutely everything when it comes into the process of creating, and you turn over every rock and you're like, do I have this covered? Do I have that covered? You know, like, everything comes into play.
So I know you said this, the inception of this goes back at least 2 years. When you finally sat down to hammer out the artwork, how long did it take you to knock these bad boys out? I know you're not done, obviously, with the trade stores and you can always have the combinations, but this, you know, when the collection first launched and dropped, how long did it take you from start to finish?
It was about 6 months total, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. From inception, from like all those one-of-ones I was showing earlier, up until, you know, putting traits into this generator, yeah, about 6 months.
Okay.
Before I was actually able to spit it out, which is a long time, you know, for me as an artist anyway, because, like, you know, this being my full-time job, so to speak, you know, I can put 40 to 60 hours a week on artwork and really pump things out. So to spend 6 months on something, you know, I was tweaking fucking everything, shapes, line work. You know, that one big thing was like the thickness of the line work with these guys. They're quite strong, quite bold, quite heavy, as opposed to the hated, which we can get to afterwards. So yeah, very cartoony, very street, very graph, and kind of almost, I wouldn't say chibi, you know, like anime chibi style, but bordering on that chibi style. That they're so squat and fat and chunky. I really wanted to take up as much of the volume of the NFT as possible, because I really was focusing on the jackets. The jackets always, for me, was the primary part of this collection. Was everything sort of, because of the way I was going to use the trait store, the most customizable and updatable part of any NFT to me was the clothing. That's how you kind of sort of started to set yourself apart. Was like, you know, I went and bought this new jacket. It's you know, it's the winter collection. It's the summer collection. You know, we've done a collaboration with this crew. You know, it's this collection, that collection. So the jackets are really, you know, first and foremost in this. So that's kind of like why they kind of take center stage on the NFT as it is. Not that the characters are not as important. The characters are just as important. But yeah. So yeah, that brought us to August 2025. Done everything we needed to do. And I think price was still fairly low at the time. Not as low as it is now, but you know, the prospect of minting out quickly was pretty daunting. But we dropped and we minted out in 48 hours, I think it was, which surprised everybody. Rico was like, fucking congrats, like this is wild. And we did a fair bit of groundwork leading up to it, you know, jumped on some spaces and, you know, reached out to, you know, other communities and, you know, just tried to really focus on what we were doing and showing people like this is something different, you know, it's something what you may not be used to. And reception was great. Floor price has been pretty steady. I dropped the first trait store update within a month. And I think over the course of 12 months, there's been 6 or 7 trait store drops. So yeah, 1 trait store drop every 2 months. And, you know, like going from this base collection to, you know, to what it is now, it's pretty crazy. Everyone's NFTs have really evolved. It's still showing a lot of the OGs. But one thing I really love about the trait store is that once you start customizing, the OG trait is gone, and it's never coming back. So if you were to take an OG
Okay. Yeah.
and attach something and update it with new traits, that trait's gone, baby. And it raises the rarity, and that's when you really start to play with the gamification and the collectability of these things, you know. So
Yeah, because normally
love-
sometimes when you take a trait off something, it goes in your inventory, right? But
does,
you've
yeah.
kind of cancelled that out. It's like, no, this is what you're rocking now. You've said goodbye to the old stuff. So you decide if you want to upgrade or you want to keep the OG. But if you want both,
Absolutely.
grab more than one, or grab a handful.
Yeah, I think that like we have the option to send the trait back to your backpack in the trait store, but I don't think I'll ever turn that on.
Oh, so they
really-
can keep they can keep the trait then.
It's possible. I just don't have it turned on. That's
Oh, please
okay.
don't turn it on, because this is the first I've heard where it's possible that you can't get it back. I actually love
Yep.
that even more now. Now
Same.
you're talking my language, man, for real.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
chose it, that's your choice. We're good here. No,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
that is great, man. Holy smokes, this is okay. All right, all right, let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go.
so I really love that about the platform that Rico has built. It's just so expansive, and it just enables me to get as wild as I possibly can, in terms of adding characters and adding traits to this collection. And I don't see an end date for this. And some collectors, especially of collections who are static and don't ever upgrade their traits or anything like that. I see massive merit to that as well. I love that style of collection also, because it means like this is it. This is your only chance to grab what this is, and I love that just as much as I love being able to customize. So having the option to do
JT,
both.
I've got to ask, right? Have you been approached by other projects on the Solana blockchain to create unique traits for their trait stores?
No.
Okay. And
Don't
is
think
that
so.
something you're open to doing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've included traits in Planet Kaiju for other artists and other collections. You guys familiar with Circus? He's pretty amazing.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I got rank
Yeah,
one
the
of Circus. So yeah, hell yeah, let's go.
Of the Necros, yeah, sick.
Yeah. Oh, I
So,
have the Necra. I have
yeah.
the only red-haired Necra, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Let's go. So we had a little wager during the playoffs, because he's a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, and
Oh,
we're like, okay, let's have a little wager. Whoever wins gets to have a trait put into each other's collection. So I was like, yeah, sick, let's do it. So there's one right here. So this is the Necro. Obviously, the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets. So he got his Mage hoodie put into the Planet Kaiju collection in the trait store,
Nice.
which I think it's such a fun thing to do. I like working with other artists and having a play with all things like this. Like it's just another level to the collectability and the expansion of the universe. So I'm open to it.
Bet too. Start as a bet. That's great, man. With
Oh,
your
so
love,
good.
go ahead.
We're like trash talking each other through games.
Of course,
and shit.
of course,
It's good.
man. With your love of
It's good.
video games and cartoons, have you thought about making these guys an animated series at all? Like, because these would be dope as an animated series. Have you even thought of, like, could you do an animated series? Would you have to would someone else have to do it for you, or is that something that's in your wheelhouse, or are you like, no, I'm not doing that shit at all? Just
I
watch
mean,
cartoons.
No, I would absolutely love to have a cartoon for sure.
Okay.
It was something that when we were back on AVAX and Phantom, like one of one of the things I spoke about was it would be sick to have a cartoon called Welcome to the Acidverse, where every episode, one of my Astro Kid characters and one of the Cosmic Friends, which is my wife's collection, these two would go on adventures with an acid cat, and over the course of a 12-episode series, they would be venturing through the Acidverse to find ingredients that they could drink and go on a crazy trip with. So each episode they would be hunting down to go on a crazy trip. So yeah, I have to do a game as well. Like, I'm a big fan of the old top-down bullet hell style shooters. So you're in your little spaceship and you're flying around dodging bullets and shooting other ships. I think Planet Kaiju would be sick as a bullet hell shooter, whether a side-scrolling bullet hell or a top-down, where you could have 6 different ships based on each category. So you've got a human-styled ship, you've got a Godzilla ship, etc., etc. Yeah, that's all way down the line though.
Okay, no, because I know your love for video games and your love for cartoons, and I'm like, there's no way he hasn't thought about this being animated.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Right. It's pretty crazy. Like, some of the dudes in the Acidverse server at the moment, with the Hated, they're doing some pretty crazy AI shit. And I came across something on Instagram a couple of days back, and it was a fully animated AI anime short, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And I just thought, if someone can create that, surely we can create a little 2-minute cartoon for the Hated, with all of the, like the back end artwork that I've created so far, and the prompts that these guys have done with the Hated to create, full body turnarounds and shit. Like, it's AI scares the hell out of me, and I don't like it for creating actual artwork collections. But I think when it comes to using AI for, Instagram posts and content, so to speak, and world building, I think it's cool. I think it works. Just as long as you don't overdo it and ever have any kind of reliance on AI. For me, everything's got to be hand drawn, when it comes to your collections and your artwork. So, yeah, thought of all of those things, man. I'd absolutely love to have a game and an anime, along with, I've got a merch store. So we've got clothing covered. I've got toys, so we've got toys covered. So yeah, the next thing is games and a cartoon. That would be sick.
Let's go. And then from Planet Kaiju, right, JT, then what was the beginning of, right, I want to put out the Hated? How did that come about? Do you want to tell us the journey into the Hated?
Sure. So back in 2022, when I was really understanding that I was building a world and a universe and lore and characters and really story-driven type narratives for the Acidverse, we had our good guys with Acid Cats and Astro Kids, but we didn't have any bad guys. We didn't have any villains, so to speak. So I was like, okay, I got to come up with like this major villain character, and just through experimentation and drawing daily and just having fun with creativity and just creating characters, which is what I do. I created this series of drawings called the Pit Demons. I don't know if I can actually find those anywhere. So they were basically the evil overlords of the Acidverse. And the visual style of these was like, I was experimenting with this mirror image style of creation. I use Procreate primarily to draw with. And I wanted to do some really evil shit, because I love evil shit along with cute stuff, but I love evil stuff. So I was like playing with this mirror image. So when you're drawing in Procreate, whatever line you create on this side of the canvas, it creates over here. So really cool to create these really symmetrical creatures, demons, beasts. I wonder if I can actually, I can't find it. I could bring them up. They're huge files, but let me just try and bring them up so you guys can see them. So I had these guys, the pit demons were like the overlords, the main bad guys. And then after we'd released Astro Kid Ultra on ETH, I was copying a fair bit of hate from certain areas of Phantom and AVAX. And it got pretty bad because certain people were like unhappy with the success we were having as opposed to the success they weren't having. They didn't like the fact that, you know, I was releasing more artwork instead of just sticking to one collection and that's it. As an artist, you can't do that. But they weren't like really viewing me as an artist. They were just seeing me as a founder who had a collection that they wanted to make money off. So they were salty that, you know, I was expanding on my vision of what the Acidverse was. And, you know, I was getting some like super serious FUD. People were like cropping out like fucking screenshots of me on live stream and creating fake accounts on Twitter and, you know, putting my face on some really nefarious shit. We got it all taken down, whatever, but I felt like while I was trying to be as creative as possible and try and create this world and sort of build something for myself, I was just being continually hated upon. So I'm like, all right, how do I take this feeling and spin it and do something with it? So the first iteration of the hated came about, and it was just the black silhouette of the character. Let me see if I've got it over here. So it was just the black silhouette with the broken halo. Here he is. Get him up on screen. So this was the basis. Created this in 2022, and I had the hated logo on the bottom of it. And I had full intention of creating this collection. And it's sort of all the FUD and the hate became a little bit too much. And I was sort of focusing on it too much. I was like, you know what, I got to just step away from it and not let myself get caught up in what these FUDders were doing to me and saying about me. So I was like, I've just got to get back onto positivity and focus on the good stuff and build what I build, have faith in what I'm doing, believe in myself. I knew I was the real thing. I knew I was, you know, I was it. I had to do it and back myself. So the hated took a back seat for years. And I sort of focused on everything else that we've just gone through, you know, over the last couple of hours. And sort of fast forward to late last year, I was really, really happy with everything I'm doing with Planet Kaiju, but also I could feel it welling up inside me. I'm like, I need to do a new generative just for myself. Like the feeling I get when I create a generative is like nothing that I've really experienced as an artist before. Being a collector of comics, toys, and especially trading cards, and NFTs being my equivalent of trading cards now in this era that we're in of, you know, digital collectibles. The act of creating a collection is just so much fun. And I would do it day in, day out and do free mints for the rest of my life. Like if people would collect them, I will create them. You know what I mean? I just absolutely love doing it. So I could feel it sort of, I was like at peace with like doing trait store upgrades and updates. But I could feel like that niggling feeling like I've got to create something new. I've got to, you know, do something brand new for myself just as an artist. I was like, fuck, it might be the time to do the hated. It's sort of, we need some villains to go against Planet Kaiju as the good guys. I'd created the Riders of Arku 1-of-1 collection, which was on Mallow. and they're villains. So they were one of the categories of Planet Kaiju is Arku, which is the demons. Excuse me. But I wanted to sort of like do this one-of-one collection, get that out of my system. That was the Riders of Arku, all very like demonic and fucked up looking. Again, using the mirror image that was started with the pit demons. The Riders of Arku, there's only 30 of those. It's 30 one-of-ones, and all the holders get a rev share every month of the Planet Kaiju royalties. So the Planet Kaiju royalties go straight to the holders of the Riders of Arku NFTs. So I had that, but it's still, for me, it still wasn't enough of a villain presence. So I was like, I can do the hated. I can bring the villains into the Acidverse, this army of villains. So yeah, I think it was like maybe February. I was like starting to really concept what I can do with it. And then I think I did a few teasers, February, March, April. And I had a family trip to Japan coming up in May. I knew I didn't want to do anything before then. And one of our mods said to me, why don't you drop the hated on the 6th of June this year? Because it just works 6/6/26.
Yeah.
It just works so perfectly. So we're just like, yeah, I love leaning into that, and it's all tongue in cheek, the Hail Satan stuff on the t-shirts and all that kind of shit. I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form, but it's just a fun thing to play into. It's an evil thing, but it's also just like a bit of fucking around. So the 666 works really well. So yeah, I was like, okay, sick. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna fucking work with it. And as soon as I got back from Japan, I'd done a little bit of groundwork to start with, but as soon as I got back from Japan, I was like all in. 24 hours a day, nothing but the hated in mind. And then I just like got to work on the hated, developed the handwriting for it. Like I went for a little bit of a thinner line style, went for the front facing mirror image style as the base, because that's the villains in the Acidverse are really front facing mirror image style. I want to keep that, throughout. So yeah, just got to work on the hated, and everything was coming together really nicely. Really happy with the look of everything. Really positive feedback from collectors, and everything we were posting on X was really positive as well. So I was like, all right, we're definitely onto something. Hit Rico up, and Mint Day was coming up, and he's like, yeah, let's drop it. Let's get it into Orbis. And yeah, we minted out in a couple of hours, which was dope on Mint Day. And I think the reception to it's been really good. The floor for the time being was pretty sick. I think it's just above public mint at the moment, which is fine. It is a side quest from Planet Kaiju. We still want to ensure that Planet Kaiju is the flagship for the Acidverse, and the majority of my work goes into Planet Kaiju. But for right now, the hated is what we're all about, and we're loving the feedback we're getting from the community. We've got a ton of new people involved, heaps of new collectors. I think the hated brought me here to you guys today. Yeah, really having fun with it.
JT, first off, I love the hated, but hearing how it came about makes me love it even more, because I am a villain guy. I love the villains of superheroes more than I like the heroes. And the fact that it resonated with me, and hearing how they are the villains of the Acidverse just is crazy, man. It like hits me really close to home, man. And not only that, just because you were getting the hate as well, like venting that into your artwork is crazy, man. So congrats, first and foremost. I missed out on the mint because it was catering to UK and Australian times, and I was asleep while I was minting, but luckily Lucky minted from our team wallet, so I was able to get some. But I had to snag one of those customs just because it vibes with me that well, man. that I can't wait to see what you turn my custom into. But I just wanted to give you props for hearing that story, because hearing how that came about just makes me fall in love with it even more so, man. So congrats, man. Congrats.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's not easy, huh? Like, you know, this whole Web3 space and NFTs in particular is difficult, and you're not always going to do the right thing, and you're not going to please everybody all the time, you know. And you've just got to, I think you got to trust your gut, go with what you believe in, and be true to yourself. And that's where the real thing comes into play as well. It's like you've got to be yourself, and you've got to stand by your beliefs and your morals, and keep building for the people who are there to support you. And I really appreciate that you connected with the villain side of things, man, because I love a bad guy. I love the villains.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. Like in Die Hard, I'm all about Hans Gruber, man. Like one of my favorite villains of all time, just like from any movie. So yeah, I resonate with villains more so than the heroes for sure. But no, man, I love it. I love it. I love it.
I'm stoked that you picked up a custom too. Like, that's going to be hell fun to get into those.
I had to. I was searching Orbis the other night, and I saw one for 1.2. I was like, yes, please. Let me grab this. Let's go.
There's I think there's 27 of those in the collection. So yeah, I'm going to have my work cut out for me, but they're going to be fun. Like, I'll work. Everyone who's got one of those, like, we'll work together. We'll jump on a call, or we'll jump in DMs, and we'll just discuss exactly how you want it to look, and as long as it fits within, we'll work off the base shape. I'll just bring up the Planet Kaiju customs, because that's a good example.
So as of now, no hated have been worked on, no custom.
No, not yet. I've got to get these Planet Kaiju ones done first.
That makes me love it even more, man. Let's go. Let's go.
So yeah, with the Planet Kaiju ones, let me just bring up all of these ones.
Is that Laponic? Is that middle one? It's crazy.
This one?
Yeah.
So that's based on a medieval.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay.
Owned by Mysidial, I think he's.
Oh, got it. How many 1-of-1s are there in Planet Kaiju?
Okay, so there's 12 legendaries here. So the legendary section of Planet Kaiju is basically my 1-of-1s that I created, because I did get some other artists involved when it came to 1-of-1s of Planet Kaiju. I always love doing 1-of-1s in a collection. It sort of gives you an opportunity to just sort of expand a little bit on the whole thing, and do something that you sort of wouldn't do within the generative side of things. So doing an Ultraman. Oh my God, it's so slow still. Doing Ultraman was key. Doing a Mecha Godzilla was key. Just doing these legendaries is so much fun. I get to be a little bit more creative with it, more effects, that kind of shit. So yeah, these are the legendaries and customs that I've created myself. But then we also, one thing that we used to do back on Phantom and AVAX was invite artists in to create 1-of-1s as well. So I reached out to a few dudes who were already on Solana, but also brought in some of my friends from Phantom and AVAX, and that's where these 1-of-1s come into play. So I just basically gave everybody the silhouette, the base silhouette of a Planet Kaiju character, and said, just go to town and do whatever you like. Just make it a bit monsterish, make it a bit, I explained what Planet Kaiju was, and then they went ahead and created for me. My favorite is easily this one. Just open it up. This is an artist, Kelvin Wong. This is like a mix of 3D and 2D. This dude is just absolutely fucking incredible.
Clean.
His style is so sick.
Right.
It's so incredible. His attention to detail is like next level, and he's like fully into streetwear type stuff. And it's I love that piece so much. Another of my favorites is Gimmicks Born from Duster Gang. So he's a graffiti artist, tattoo artist, and also incredible illustrator. This is his piece for the collection. If you're not following him, follow Gimmicks. He's amazing.
Detail on that,
Bro, he's
Shadow.
so crazy. So crazy.
And
Yeah, he puts
horns
his
on top.
little shout outs to Planet Kaiju, shout outs to TOA, his name Gimmicks. His lighting is next level. His line work is just incredible. Cat Guy was trying to get hold of this one actually. But I think
Is this for sale? Is this one for sale?
No, I don't think so. I wouldn't be selling it, that's for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, so but with Cat Guy really wanting to get that one, when he got me on his show, he immediately bought up a custom. Actually, he bought 3 customs from the Trait store. And then what did I create for him? Where is his?
You're talking to a August 9th Leo here, man. So I'm all about cats, all about lions too. Let's go.
Where is his? I can't see his. Let me just quickly have a look here. I'll check his wallet. So I did the Susanu for him. I did the Ho-Oh. And where's his other one? Okay, it's not showing up. There was a cat that I did for him. I wonder if I've got it over here. I did a tiger for him.
It's his PFP in Discord.
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of fun on that. Customs are so much fun. I love doing the customs. So yeah, really excited to wrap up the Planet Kaiju customs and get started on the hated. They're going to be crazy.
How long does it take to do a custom? Usually.
It can be from like a day or 2 to a week. It just depends on the back and forth that I have. With the whoever I'm working with. Sometimes they're really easy to bang out, but sometimes it can take a week or 2. Just
is it because you're like, no, we're not doing that? Like, no, like do you have some guidelines?
No, very rarely. It's more making sure that who I'm doing the piece for is happy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I have parameters and boundaries.
Got it.
So when it comes to when we create, say, I'm going to bring this guy up here. When we create the hated customs, we're going to have to use the base body as the shell that we work on. But in terms of, I would like to keep the ears if possible, but understandable if whoever owns customs want to change the ears, we can do that. But ideally, just keep that base shape, get rid of the eyes and the mouth and the face and the hair, and then build on top of that, just like we did with the Planet Kaiju customs. I've got a few ideas in from people already. They're going to be fucking crazy.
Man, I already started daydreaming about mine.
Oh,
and then
let's
when I
go.
grabbed one last night, was like, yeah, man. Now I secured one. Don't let someone paper another one because I'll have more than one, bro. I was like, I should sweep the floor? Or I was like, and then I saw it for 1.2. I was like, nope. Let me just
What have
grab
we
this
got
bad
here?
boy. So
we go. It says 1-on-1, 1.8. That's just.
I think that's the
Wow, is that
only
the
one.
only one?
Yeah.
There's only one on there right now. Sick.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah,
I'd
I'm
much
excited.
rather like create for people who minted, and who are buying, and then just see the customs on the floor. Like, let's not have any customs on the floor. Let's grab them up.
Yeah, you won't.
JT, if you had to choose one thing, right? If you were to kind of said, and someone said, look, you can only make one of ones or generative artwork. If someone put a gun to your head, JT, what one would you choose?
Great question.
I'm gonna say the generative.
Okay.
How come?
The one of ones standalone one of one artwork is great, and you're really able to, try new shit and be a little bit more creative and expressive and all of that. But when it comes to generatives, the way that you produce and the amount that you can produce and the ability to create an entire world with generatives, right? Like, there are so many characters in here, so many individuals. Whereas if you've just got a one of one, you've just got the one individual. But if you're doing generatives, there's just so much more to play with, and it's just so much more expansive. And I love the collectability of a generative. Whereas like with a one of one, you can kind of like buy just the one and that's it. But if you've got a generative, like, you can put together teams and you can collect a certain trait. It's just, I really love the collectability of a generative.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting approach because it's not as straightforward, right? That answer. Like, I know there's many collectors who would just go for purely one of ones, and that's their game. You look at their wallet and it's just fucking stacked of one of ones, and you think, "Fuck, this is serious."
That's a rad way to collect too. Like, that's a sick way to collect.
But then I also understand what you said about collecting certain traits in like different colored backgrounds and different, that kind of stuff. There's different types of collectors, right? And that's the uniqueness about it. So yeah, interesting. So you're more of a generative guy to compared to one of one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If I'm collecting say I'm going after another collection, I'll find a trait that speaks to me. I don't really go for rarity. I'm aesthetics over rarity. So I'll find a trait that I really dig. So I guess if we jump on, into Orbis real quick.
Talk to me about, most artists put their one-on-ones out there already finished. What's the reasoning behind putting them out as a placeholder and saying you can customize yours? Like, because I love that idea, but how did that come about in your brain? You're like, you know what? I'm going to have these placeholders and let people custom make their things. Is that just something that people have always come to you and be like, yo, can you make me this? Can you make me this? So you just infused it within the art?
Yeah, I think it goes back to Astro Kid back in 2022. It's sort of a carry on, an expansion of doing the legendaries, and then going to, because creating the collection, like, as an artist, you've got this base and you can see more. There's more that you can do with it. What if I had this base and I didn't put it into the collection, but I want to see what this would look like as the 4 Ninja Turtles. Like, I want to know how Astro Kid looks like as turtles. So to me, I was like, okay, I want to do this. So I'll create them as special editions, and we'll mint them as their own, side collection. I'll settle down, Roy.
Roy's just swooped that one.
Yo, Roy, I feel it, bro. I feel it. I'm like, it doesn't look like they're coming down on that 1.8. Good shit.
GG, Roy.
I love it. I love it.
Sick.
No, I love that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like just wanting to create customs, basically, for myself to see what that would look like. I don't think I'd included any of the custom token in any collections up until I think we did some in Kid 9. I can't remember. It might have been in Kid 9 that I might have put some custom tokens in, and basically said, let's give people the opportunity to create their own. And it was something we kind of did back in the early days too on Phantom, when I was doing the special edition Astro Kids. There was some artists there that I really respected, so I was like wanting to honor them with their own honorary Astro Kid, and we designed it up on stream and we'd sit there and we'd draw it live and mint it and gift it to them because they were dope artists or they were dope collectors, big supporters of what I was doing. So I think kind of evolved from that of like having a need to do customs outside of the collection, but then finding a way to, especially with Launch My NFT, I was able to update the metadata myself, which was sick. And it was something I could do with Gotham as well. So it was like, okay, now let's put some tokens in that enable the minter to do a custom. We can do a custom, and then we can update the metadata, and there's a brand new one of one sitting in the collection. We'd kind of done something similar back on the Acid Cats Phase 3 back in 2022, where I inserted. Actually, I did customs back then too, but it was for like a physical. It wasn't for an actual NFT. I had 3 custom. I think they were just like the black outline on white. If you minted one of those ones, then we could take any one of your minted Acid Cats and I'd print it up on a frame, and we sent that out. There was also like a small collection of Acid Cats holding a Dragon Ball, and if you collected all 7 Dragon Balls, you got a special custom Acid Cat special edition. So like that collectability and that redemption kind of mechanic, which was really prevalent with G.I. Joes, especially like if you were to collect the tokens on the back of G.I. Joe cards, you could mail them away and get a free G.I. Joe sent to you. I really like that mechanic. So bringing that into NFTs, I think for me was a really big thing. And like you could do it with trading cards as well. I think Upper Deck, Fleer, and all them, they had, if you pulled a special card, you could redeem it for a rookie collection. So I really want to just bring that into NFTs as well, because I view NFTs as the evolution of trading cards. So that ethos and that collectability, really comes into play when I create a collection.
Yeah. JT, is there down the line, are you going to be releasing further traits for the hated?
No, this is it.
Right. Okay. Keeping them as they are.
Yeah. I didn't want to overshadow Planet Kaiju at all. I mean, there might be a point where the hated is doing, more volume or has more interest than Planet Kaiju, and then we would have to have a discussion as a community. Well, first I'd have to have a discussion with my guys, and then we'd have a wider discussion with the community. Hey, the hated's really taken over from Planet Kaiju. What do you guys think we should do? Do we pivot? Do we continue to focus on Planet Kaiju in the trait store, or do we leave that as is, as what it was? Do we then focus our attention to the hated? Maybe do a G2. I don't want to do a trait store with the hated if possible. I really like where it's at. I've had plenty of people asking, where's the trait store for the hated? I'm just like, Planet Kaiju is the focus for the trait store. That mechanic, I think, is incredible for Planet Kaiju, and I really love visually where the hated is at. I love the balance of traits in the hated. To me, we're talking earlier about favorite collections. It could be recency bias, but the hated is my favorite collection of everything I've done up to this point from 2021. So
you just got to tell them to buy a custom. There's no trade store, just buy a custom.
That's it.
Yeah, trade store. There's your trade store. I also love about the custom one-of-ones is that you're accessible to your holders, man, and I love that. I love that fact. Not that you aren't already just in Discord and how open you are, but the fact that you get to sit down and pick your brain and then work on something together is very unique and not to be missed. And that's why I grabbed one, because I love the hated. Like, I love the hated. It speaks to me a lot. So the fact that I get to sit down with you, even after having this conversation of, almost 3 hours now, will be even that much better when we sit down and be like, all right, let's what do you want, Teddy?
Yeah,
or however we go about it. Yeah, let's cook. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I love the process, like to sit down with someone and work through a piece it's awesome. It's so much fun. And I think it's kind of it's easy for me because of the way I came up as a designer and an artist. You know, you work in a studio, you work with a client, a creative director, an art director, your fellow designers, your fellow artists. The process of creation with other people can be so much fun. So to work on customs, you know, like I learned early on in my NFT journey that working on custom pieces is super fun. So whenever we get a chance to do it, we love to do it.
Nice. My other question for you is Planet Kaju 6,666 or 63 is what it's showing on Orbis. How did you come to that number? And then 2,222 for the hated. How did you come to that number? Like, how do those numbers enter into your brain where you're like, yep, this is going to be that, and this is going to be that? Is it something you think on, or you know right away? Like, it's the process there.
Yeah, supply is always hard, and I do like, you know, those really even numbers as well. You know, if the number looks good visually to me, I'm in on it. I like it. And the 22, 22, 11, 11, 33, 33, it all just goes back to the first generatives that I did when I didn't know what I was doing and I was kind of introduced to it. So kind of like everybody was doing around those kind of numbers. I never wanted to do really a 10K collection. Felt like that was a lot. So the multiple single numbers I think works really well for me. It's just a visual thing more than anything. But also it helps, you know, be consistent with everything that I do. Coming to 66 with Planet Kaju, while I was creating it, I was basically creating 6 different collections. So I was thinking, what would the supply of each collection be? I thought 11 for each character would probably be pretty legit. So having 6 with 11 gives us that really nice number of 66. The 666 plays into the demon shit. So, you know, that's how we got to 66 on that one. And then the 22 with the hated, I was going to go for 1,000, like 999, but it felt like it just wasn't enough. So I thought, you know, screw it, we'll bump it up to 22, pay homage to the older collections that we used to drop with those numbers. And then when I sort of started doing the math on traits, how many I needed to get the collection working, it just worked out really nicely for me. So yeah, that's where we went.
Let's go. They're also a third of the heroes as well, so I like that. I like that pairing.
That's true. I like that.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, it speaks to me a lot, man. Like it's easily some of my favorite art on Solana, man. So
appreciate that, man.
Nah, hell yeah.
It was good fun to get in and do some real, you know, devilish looking dudes. I've been eyeing this one off for ages. Let me just get it up on screen. I think I put him in my like daily watch the other day. I really like this one. I just haven't pulled the trigger on him yet. He's so debaucherous. What the fuck? what a fucking asshole. What an asshole.
JT, I had a question, right?
Yeah.
Now, what's in the pipeline? Because as you said, you're an artist and you'll always have an itch. And going by your past, you've always had something in the background on the shelf that you can kind of pick up and kind of put out there, like you've done with the hated, with the silhouette, etc. With Kaiju, you had that on the shelf for 2 years. Is there something on the shelf, and I'm sure there is, that you can kind of probably, you know, kind of drop some alpha or something like that? Sure. That's that you've got in the pipeline, you know, down the road or some, or even if it's something addition to, you know, Planet Kaiju.
So there's, to be honest, besides Planet Kaiju, I don't have anything left to complete besides that old TOA Club collection. My focus after the Hated is purely for Planet Kaiju. We're coming up on year 2. That's in August of this year. Leading into that, we're almost in July. Midway through July, I'll be stripping the trait store completely of all the traits. We'll be shelving everything that's on sale. It's all going to go in the archive, probably not for sale ever again. So if there's anything in the trait store that anybody wants for Planet Kaiju, now's the time to pick it up. You can just store it in your backpack for later. You don't have to apply it to an NFT straight away. So come August, for Planet Kaiju Year 2, I will be dropping a whole new set, a whole new collection of traits in the trait store. There will be clothing. There will also be some new characters coming in, some new base bodies. So within each of the character class, we have between like 6 and 12 different, if I just quickly bring Planet Kaiju up, within each category, we've got different variations. So within, let's say, the demon bodies, we've got different characters within the demons as well. This is what I love about the expansion of Planet Kaiju infinitely, is that you can have so much going on to be updated later on. You can just expand on your lore and everything around it infinitely. I fucking love it. So yeah, coming into year 2, first and foremost, the focus will be on the Godzilla style characters, which is the Goji. So that's these guys here. So currently I think there's 6 different Goji with 4 different colorways of each. I'll be expanding on that with maybe 3 new character shapes of the Goji, and then bring in new colorways as well. So year 2, really want to expand on the body types and the different characters that we've already established, which is then going to, if you choose to upgrade, will then make the OGs even more rare. So we'll bring down those numbers, basically deflate the OG collection. I also have some merchandise stuff. Got to update the merch store with some Hated gear. And then really need to push out the Acid Cat toys, which I created over the last probably 12 months, which are these little guys here. So we 3D printed 100 of these Acid Cats. You guys can see that.
Yeah.
Up there. You can see that. But anyway, so 100 of those, and they've been hand painted by me. And you can get those 2 different ways. You can buy, let's see, here we go, Acid Cat.
So did Mox just get one by buying an Acid Cat earlier in the stream?
Yes. I just wait for that to load up.
Let's go, Mox.
I'll see if I can just quickly open up the Acidverse store as well. Okay, so Acid Cat Special Edition. So yeah, this basically, I took the existing Acid Cat traits and handcrafted. How many did I put into this? 50. So using the Mallow Gumball machine, which I think is dope, which shows you everything in the collection, and you don't know which one you're going to mint. I think that's a really cool mechanic. Whereas, with generatives, you don't know what you're going to mint. You have no idea, but you also don't get to see the collection either. What I kind of like about this Gumball is that you can see all of the NFTs, but you still don't know what you're going to get. So it's a proper Gumball machine type thing. So yeah, if you were to mint one of these, that also comes with an Acid Cat toy, which is all hand painted. They're all 1 of 1 hand painted by me. So you can get them there, or you can get them as a blind box on the Acidverse web store, which is just right there. We've also got t-shirts and hats and all other types of shit, desk mats and all that stuff. Some original artwork. So yeah, Acid Cats is a focus as well. And I think that's probably it in terms of my workload. I'm going to have a lot to do with the Hated customs. They're going to take us probably a month or two to get through, possibly longer, depending on how detailed we get and making sure we get hold of everybody. So that's where we're at.
JP, this was absolutely brilliant. We can only thank you so much for taking so much time out and kind of holding our hand through the whole Acidverse, the universe, and
even
that
before,
as well.
even before.
Exactly.
Holding you hostage.
Incredible journey, and
100%.
there's clearly it shows that you've got a good community and new people that are listening and leaving comments on Orbis chat as well. I think brother, GG on what you've done so far. Excited and very happy that you're in the Solana space now. So definitely, I know you say there's nothing in the pipeline, but I will keep an eye out because as it's happened before,
we need some more haters. We need some more haters.
people follow certain trends, and I think the itch will come again, and I'm looking forward to it. It's not a bad thing. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as it's gonna come a time where you're gonna get that itch. You just need that release, and you need to create a very unique collection. And if that collection happens to be a one of one and a very small collection, albeit, I'm there for it.
I'm gonna run a FUD campaign to get the juices flowing again, bro. Get them all stirred up and pissed off. So
bro, I don't know if I can handle another one of those.
Before we pivot to our next segment, I just had one final question for you. I mean, you're already living the life, man. Wake up, coffee, cartoons, video games. What do you do to unwind, or is there even a process to unwind? Because that right there seems like unwinding and working at the same time. Is there something you do? Do you step away and unplug and go in nature, or are you just, you're living the dream and it's every day? This is what I do.
I'm so fortunate and so incredibly grateful to our community and my collectors to give me basically the opportunity to live the way I do. All I have to do is wake up and sit at my desk and just create and be who I am. And as long as I'm there every single day, they're happy to support me. And I can't think of anything better to do than do what I do. And to answer your question about what I do to step away, like there's not a whole lot I need to do to step away. Like it's very rarely I feel like there's so much, like it gets like overwhelming to the point where I have to get out. Usually it's just like go out and eat somewhere, go to my favorite ramen spot and just enjoy someone else's creativity in a different essence. Just finding inspiration from other artists and other artisans is something that I really love to do. Like, hit an art gallery. I sometimes go to the cinema, not very often. Love going to gigs and seeing live music. Just usually it's something to, I'm not a huge nature buff or anything like that, but most of my inspiration just comes from visual things or sensory things, audio sensory things. So as long as I can catch a gig, go look at some art, eat some dope food, spend time with the people that I love, then that's all I need to keep going. Because waking up and doing what I do every day is a blessing, and I've got my community to thank for it. So very grateful, very blessed.
Let's go. Well, you got two new community members here as well, so appreciate you,
appreciate you, boys.
And thank you so much for your time. I'm just going through memory lane and just like Lucky said, holding our hand and doing. This has been one of the best journeys of how it got into Web3 and how you ended up on Solana. And just thank you, AVAX Foundation, for fumbling the bag, man. Because wow, man, Solana is where you belong, and I'm happy that you're there. So
Appreciate
again,
that.
man, thanks for the time, for sure.
Right back at you, man. Like, to the opportunity to get on and speak like this and show people what, you know, I've been putting, you know, my whole life's work into is it's special. It's you know, it's not lost on me. You know, just how fortunate I am to be able to do things like this and share what I do. You know, with, you know, our existing community and new members. So yeah, anyone who's not in the Acidverse, jump in. We've got a beautiful community there. Everyone's very welcoming. So stoked. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure's ours, man, for sure. Luck, if you don't have any more questions, we're ready to move it over to our rapid fire round.
Yeah, JT, we're not done yet, brother. We've got rapid fire,
Oh,
and
shit.
we've also. And
I forgot
You
about
said
that.
4 hours, bro. You said 4 hours. You did it.
I did.
And you've very also kindly agreed to do massive giveaways, and you know,
God, yes, I did.
I really want to
Yes.
get these into the hands of people that are not in the community, but also at the same time, hopefully, someone who is in the community who's loyal gets rewarded. And it's a very easy way to enter this. All you got to do is retweet the stream, and we'll be doing some Twitter pickers. But yeah, Taddy, let's move it on to the next segment.
All right. So, JT, rapid fire round. You
Yes.
got 10 seconds.
Okay, let's go.
To answer with your gut. If you take longer, you're gonna hear the machine gun, bro. So, Lucky,
All
Lucky's
right, let's
gonna
go.
ask you a series of questions, and let's bang them out. Let's go.
Okay, I'm going to start off with a tricky one. Mount Rushmore of artist in Web3. So you got a name
Artists in
for
Web3. Okay, Gimmicks with Duster Gang, Circus with Necros, me, and oh shit. No, that's all I got. I've only got 3.
Okay. Not a problem. What is your go-to wallet in Web3?
Phantom.
Okay.
Although it's kind of sucky at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
new
that
update
new
is
update.
trash, for sure.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it up until the new update. So,
Same.
but
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit, so I'll stick with it.
Same.
Which project, in your opinion, has the best utility?
Planet Kaiju.
Other than your own, he was supposed to add that.
I would say the mids. I think the mids are doing really well. Just giving their collectors, extra opportunities.
Which project has the best art, other than your own, of course?
Duster Gang.
Okay.
Absolutely.
JT, you have one soul. What are you investing in?
Mids. If possible.
Most underrated Solana NFT project.
Besides my own?
Yeah. Always
Duster
besides
Gang.
your own.
Duster Gang. Absolutely
Duster Gang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solana price prediction. 1st of January 2027.
150.
Okay. In your opinion, who is the most influential person in Solana?
Oh, maybe Dak.
Okay. If you could get one person to promote, this might actually answer the next question, to be fair.
Yeah.
If you could get one person to promote your project, who would it be?
Yeah, Dak would be dope. Oh, hello. This is my lovely wife.
Oh, sorry.
Let's
Just
go.
brought me a coffee.
Let's
That's
go.
what it's about.
Welcome to the show,
Shout
babe.
out to wifey. Shout out to wifey with the coffee on demand. I love it.
That's my third coffee of the day. I'm gonna be buzzing. Let's go.
What's the time there? Remind us. JG.
It's 10 a.m. 10 a.m. now.
10 a.m. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Favorite
Yes.
Web3 IP?
Of all time, Deadfellas.
Deadfellas. Okay.
Mhm.
What is personally your largest bag? What do you hold the most of, apart from your own collections, of course?
Okay, so Syke, one of the founders of Deadfellas, released this ridiculous collection. Was it God Machine? Something like God Machine or something like that. I got hundreds of the things. It's insane.
Okay. A whale in your community drops 20 soul in your team's wallet and gives you full rights to spend it however you seem is fit. What do you do with the funds? A, distribute it evenly amongst stakeholders. B, use the funds to build a unique utility for your project. Or C, run a huge giveaway. Or D, something completely different.
A, we're distributing it.
Redistribute among stakeholders. Okay. Yeah, fair
sure.
enough. Okay. You're stuck on an island. You can only take 3 music albums. What are we looking at, JT?
Faith No More, King for an April for a Lifetime, Melvin's Stoner Witch, and Lorna Shore to the Hellfire.
Okay. Last question,
Yeah,
JT.
Yeah, that's it.
If you could lead any other NFT project, what one would it be?
Mids. Love mids.
Mids. Okay.
I really respect what's being built there. I love mids.
Yeah. Mids are cooking. Mids are cooking. JT, that concludes Rapid Fire. GG, brother. You survived it. Taddy, back to you.
Thank you.
Good job, man. You powered through those. I didn't have to pull out the machine gun at all. Good stuff.
Yeah, that
man.
3 albums? Come on.
Yeah, man. Come on. That's tough.
3?
That 20 Soul one,
Just
too.
3?
That's a new one. I hadn't heard that one yet, so I thought that one
I
would
like
get
that
you
one.
as well.
That was an easy one. That's straight back to the homies.
Let's go.
So our next segment is basically just the Q&A. I know people were throwing up questions while we were doing the live stream. So if anyone has any questions that you feel we did not ask, by all means throw them up in the comments and we will get them up. We'll read them aloud or we'll post them up. But
Daddy, I've got one. Right.
Let's go.
JT, what is the best way for a project to get in touch with you in regards to potentially doing some artwork? Is it jumping in your DC or is it just DMing you on X?
Yeah, either or. Yeah, X or X. I don't really see spam that often. I don't go to check my unreads very often. So jumping in the Discord is definitely a great way to do it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, just in case
a bunch of NFTs, don't I?
Yeah, just in case if someone is interested in working with JT,
yeah,
that's the route to go.
I got one too.
Go for it. Go for it.
So sandwiched in between a lot of these free mints. Were you pressured at all? Did you feel pressure to have a free mint with these free mints that went off? And a lot of them were planned, and then a few of them were not planned. They had to pivot. Obviously, their asking price was a lot higher than what you guys were asking. But did you feel any pressure on possibly doing this as a free mint instead of for point, what was it, 0.5, 0.6, I think it was? Or no?
Yeah, 0.69 public.
Yeah.
No, not really. I'd done the free mint with Kid9 last year.
Mhm.
You know, I sort of, once I make a decision, you know, I stand by it. If I have to pivot, I do. You know, I'd made the decision on how much we were minting for back when the price was a little bit better. So like I had planned on minting at around, I think it was about $10 US per mint. That dropped down to about $3 at mint date. But you know, that's cool. That's all part of you know what we do here in the space. But no, I didn't feel like, oh shit, you know, Anomaly's popping off from being a free mint. You know, do we need to play catch up? Like, I think once you do that, and I have fallen into that trap, it definitely happens. And it's something you've got to become really aware of. I think as a founder and artist in the space is that just because something's working really well for someone else doesn't mean it's going to work well for you. And trying to play catch up kind of, to me, really puts a tarnish on what you're creating for yourself. You really should, it's okay to be influenced and to sort of learn from what others are doing, learning from, you know, your own mistakes and successes, learning from other people's mistakes and successes. And being such a volatile space, you can't really fucking predict anything. So I find the best thing you can do is do enough research to get yourself to a position where you're comfortable with your choice, and then stand by your choice as you go forwards. And that's everything from the creation of the artwork, the supply in the collection, the price of the collection, the chain you're releasing on. Like, you've just got to have faith in what you're doing. And I think that ends up helping everything. So
Great
yeah,
answer,
I didn't feel like I should drop the Hated to free or anything like that. Like, I knew it was cheap as it was, and you know, with the way the mint went, it went pretty fucking quick anyway. So you know, the acid verse turned up and went psychotic for it. And then, you know, once it got to community collab whitelist phase, like the rest of the people come in and collectors come in and picked up their allocation, and we made public, and that didn't last very long at all. So yeah, happy with what we've done.
You and me both, man. Look, I'm not seeing any more questions coming through on X. You got any in Orbis chat?
No, I think we are kind of good, Teddy. I
Covered it.
think what we can do is we can kind of pivot towards the giveaway,
Yeah.
and let this gentleman continue on with his day. I know EJC is he's liked what he's heard, and he's grabbed some Hated as well.
Nice.
Let's go.
Yeah, EJC has a question.
Oh.
He likes
Look
this
at that.
question.
Look at that.
If you had one mid, one Hated, and one Planet Kaiju,
Oh,
you got to burn one, stake one, and flip one.
I'm burning the Hated, I'm staking the Planet Kaiju, and I'm flipping the mid.
Okay.
this man's unflappable with rapid fire, bro. He's unflappable.
We deflate the Hated supply. We stake the Planet Kaiju, so we get our coin, and we flip the mid for a little bit of ramen money.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. I love it.
Hey, so I just want to say I haven't picked out the giveaway NFTs. So
what we
how do you
can
want to do that?
JT, I can send you wallet addresses of the winners, or I can get them. Actually, what would be better is if they jump into the DC and open up a ticket, and I'll send you the screenshot of their X profile as well. We're going to write them down now because we're going to view them. We're going to draw them live on screen, so you'll know if it's the right person or not.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right.
Okay,
Taddy, do you
Where's
want
your screen,
to,
brother? Where's your
yeah,
screen?
if you want to, let me just bring this up.
All right, let me put it back on here.
screen.
All right.
So shall we go? We're doing, just to confirm, JT. What we're giving away is, are we giving away a couple of each? What's the plan?
Yeah, let's do 2 Kid Nines, 2 Planet Kaiju, and 2 Hated.
Legend. Okay.
I don't know why it's not shown. I put it up there, but it's not shown. So let's see. You guys see it? You guys don't see it, right?
No,
No.
Me neither.
I'm definitely sharing it.
Yeah. Let me add it to station. Oh, yeah. It's.
Do you want to do it, Teddy? Then, so if you just go to xpicker.com.
Hold on. Hopefully it pulls up mine.
Somebody picked up that Hated I was looking at.
Xpicker.com, you said? Xpicker.com?
That was probably EJC. Yeah, Xpicker without the E before the R. So
got it. Yeah, okay. Because the other one was not working. Xpicker. Yeah, I'll support you later. How about that? Okay. So got it. What do I put in my deets or what?
Yeah, so if you the tweet URL, so do you want to share your screen and then just put in the stream post link, and then we can run this bad boy up. 6, not 1, not 2, but 6 NFTs JT is giving away. Appreciate that, JT. Let's get this ball rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why it won't let me share my screen either, man.
That's all good.
Really?
That'll come from my
Let me just leave and come back real quick. See if that fixes it. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so the beauty of this platform, JT, is even if the host leaves, the space still goes, the stream still goes on. So that's the good thing. Previously on X, that could never happen, right? As soon as the host rugs, that's it. Game over, show's over. So
that's cool. So that's StreamYard.
Yeah, StreamYard. Yeah, that's the one. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it won't let me do yours. Let me see if
I've not used StreamYard before.
Let me see if it does mine.
Yeah, that's cool.
Share. Oh, there we go. Okay, you guys see it?
Yes.
All right.
So I would like to get back into streaming my art process.
Oh,
but I'm just not.
All right,
JT, I think you might be rugging there, brother.
He's rugging a little bit.
Much luck with streaming on Twitter, on X.
Yeah.
So.
All right, talk to me.
I think your connection might be a bit poor, JT.
You're rugging a little bit. You're rugging in and out.
The circle of doom.
Yeah,
all right, look, talk to me. Look.
So go to your X, your latest post, and copy the URL link.
Okay, I can do that. My latest post, the on the blog post for Beast Mode. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. So no, this live stream post.
Got it. Okay. Yep. I'm there. Copy link. Put it in there. Boom,
put it in the Twitter picker. Then click on. No. Click on and underneath. Yeah. Click on retweet and. So they've got to like and retweet this stream. So let's go. Pick a winner.
Let's get it. Is JT still with us? Or is he frozen?
JT, are you there?
He might be frozen. He left. No,
hey,
he just came back.
We've got Animal. Wait, let me write this down. Animal has won a Kid 9.
Let me add. There we go. You back? Wait. You look crystal clear now. Your internet is working now. Let's go,
man. Oh, what the hell's going on in this place?
Right, JT, I'm going to send these through in DC as we talk. Right, so I've taken the screenshots of each of these, so it just makes your life easier. Teddy, we're ready for the next one. Next giveaway is another K9. Yeah.
All right, pick a winner. Let's go.
Let's go.
Of course, Animal won. Let's go.
Zay Zolfan always wins. Always wins.
On the money.
Always wins, bro.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay,
That's good.
let's
You got
get
it?
this. Yep, next
All
one.
right. All right. Next one. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming.
This is for a Planet Kaiju.
Of course.
Mr. Amid.
Of course. You got it. Tell me when you got it, and I'll go on to the next. Don't tell me
got this one.
EJC's next.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Here
Appreciate
you go,
these
next.
giveaways too, man. Thank you
Oh,
so
all good.
much.
I'm holding it. on the bench.
Oh, fellow
Grandpa
Aussie.
Aussie.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, JT, do you know Grandpa Aussie?
Grandpa's great, man. What a supporter.
Yeah. Oh,
he's the
legend.
best.
Legend.
Always goes hard when we're minting something.
Yeah,
He
Grandpa
is
is
the best.
he has got some great mint luck, I tell you that.
Yeah, he's goated. He's
Sure.
goated.
2 more? Was that 4?
2 more, and the last 2 are for the hated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can't do
I
it,
hope-
Mr. Amit. No, you can only win one. We're gonna skip. We're gonna skip. We're gonna skip. All right.
Let's do that.
He just wins too much, bro. He just wins.
He's a winner. Okay, let me take this one.
What is that PFP? That thing's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Damn.
Yeah.
What is
So
that?
I
I'm
don't
not really
know.
sure.
Holy shit.
Let's
Right.
go. You got it?
Yep. I've got
All
it.
right.
Okay.
And last but certainly not least, let's get it.
Last person. Who's it going to be? Engineer.
Congrats.
Let's go.
GG,
Go.
brother.
Let's go.
GG. Right. These all are now in our chat.
Perfect.
JT, I don't know if you can see. So with the first 2 are for K9. Then the ones after that are for Planet Kaiju, and the last 2 are the hated.
Sick. I'll have a look at that in a sec.
Yeah,
No
buddy.
problem. No
Gotta
problem.
Figure out what
But-
the hell's going on with my internet.
No, you're crystal clear now. It's the clearest it's been.
Oh,
So,
word? That's
yeah.
crazy.
It's clear right now.
Yeah, man. It's clear.
Definitely. Yo, fellas, we didn't reach the 4-hour mark, but I think 3.5 hours is
We're
a
close.
good shout.
We tried. We tried. Give it the old
think we
college
tried.
try, bro.
Exactly. But JT, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure for me and Taddy to have you on OTB. Thank you so much from us, and thank you so much from our viewers as well. Really appreciate the time that you've taken out. Keep cooking, keep doing your thing. And yeah, just looking forward to seeing the Acidverse grow and seeing your artwork on the timeline for sure.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I'm going to be here day in, day out. So hopefully you guys don't get too sick of me. And anyone who's not in the AV, come say what up in the server. Acidverse is here every day. And we're here to cook. We're here to create some brand new shit and have some fun and just keep hustling with Planet Kaiju. So yeah, really appreciate you guys for having me on, letting me share my story, and hopefully we can get back on again in the future.
Yeah, buddy.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. We'll have to pull you up to Floor Watch one day if you fancy
Yeah,
it.
for sure. Yeah,
That's a different kind of vibe. You've seen it.
Mhm.
It's a pure chill stream, and plus, we get to explore different projects, and it's always good to kind of see different projects from a founder's perspective. So I'm looking forward to having you on that. We'll touch base on the back end and arrange a day for you to come on Floor Watch. But yo, Teddy, amazing show.
Yeah, right there with you. JT, thank you so much, man. Listeners, thank you all so much. The fact that you rock up with us knuckleheads to learn about founders and what they're building and their journeys, we just appreciate you so much because we do this for you and ourselves as well. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a blessed Monday or Tuesday, and have a great week, and we'll catch y'all on the flip side. OTB is
Peace.
out. Yeah, buddy. Let's go.
Peace.
On the block, we go, 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 go. On the block, let it flow, go, 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 go. might go live. Different miles from Webster Drive. Builders here, they pull a real. Talking moves and how they feel. No scripts, just open flow. Ideas moving row by row. Every week a new face shown. Building things to stand alone. On the block we go. On the block, let it flow. On the block, feel the sound. On the block right now. Just raw talk. Ideas that actually walk. From early grinding new way. Every guest got things to say. No script, no safety net. Just truth. You don't forget. We go. On the block, let it